Let's get nasty on a Thursday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Carey's already adjusting the thermostat here. It's a little warm.
Over there sometimes, Anthony, how my memory works, it doesn't.
Okay.
And so I'll go do something.
Yeah.
And I'll get to the spot where I know I was supposed to do something, and then I'll look around like, what the hell am I here for?
Yeah.
And so I walked over here to the thermostat, and I was like, oh, I got to turn the lights off. And then I was like, no, it's something else. And I couldn't remember.
Sure.
And then I started sweating, and I was like, oh, it's the thermostat.
It's a thermostat.
It's hot as hell in here.
Do you know what that is?
What is it?
It's not old age.
What is it?
A lot of people say that. Like, oh, you're getting older, you forget some stuff. It's not old age.
What is it?
You're a parent. Because I started forgetting a lot of stuff when I became a parent.
Yeah.
I mean, like stuff that
Simple things.
I would get up. Like now, I get up out of my chair, and I'm like, I'm going to do this, whatever this is. I will walk 2 steps, and I will have forgotten what I.
That's very frustrating.
I think there's like a scientific thing. Like, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to immediately. Man, I'm losing my voice.
You're getting choked up over this, yeah.
I'm getting old, Anthony.
Parenthood.
Yeah, I'm getting choked up. Like, you're not supposed to wake up and immediately look at your phone.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't do that. Like, it does kind of, I don't know the scientific.
Right.
Kills your brain cells.
Yeah, it kind of does. Like, you shouldn't do it. I do it every day. Some days I don't, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean, our clocks are there. You know, like
you need to know what time it is.
Then, you want to know what time it is. So I see why you would do it.
You need to have an alarm clock. Bring alarm clocks back. You know what else I learned? You know how the alarm clock? It's not really a great way to wake up.
No, it's terrible.
It's kind
like a
of
shock to your system.
Yeah, you don't have to wake up that way.
Right.
Now I have like wind chime.
Like a soothing.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Feel better when I get up, because when you hit it, you're just like, oh God, what's the fire?
Right.
Like,
yeah,
no
but
fire.
if I'm hearing wind chimes, I'm like, man, that sounds great. I'm going to go back to sleep.
I'm just going to stay right here.
But it keeps going. And so after a couple of minutes, you realize, oh, that's my alarm. Darn it. It's time to get up.
It takes you out of that dream state.
But it eases you out. It doesn't shock you out of it.
How many alarms do you have?
I usually set about 3.
I have about 6.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
I got
some,
one.
Some of them aren't like for like waking up. Some of them are like, okay, I have to do this at this time, have this at this time. So
you are big on alarms. Like if you leave the studio, you go to the bathroom, you want to make sure that you come back.
2 minutes.
It's going off.
I've got one alarm. His name is Lincoln. He's 3 years old, and
it's like clockwork.
God knows when he's going to. Nope.
Nah, it changes. Day to day.
The other night, I was telling you guys, he threw up all over his crib. That was rough.
Oh, yeah.
You change an entire set of like bedding and things like that, 3 a.m. It's not fun.
Nah.
Yeah. Then we brought him into our bed. Then he threw up in our bed, too. It's fun being a parent.
This might shock you. I have an alarm for 12:40, which tells me that it's time to leave the house. Yeah, never. It goes off every day.
Yeah. It does its job.
I don't do mine.
You don't really come through that.
I'm like, it's optional. Then I'm like, oh no, I'm supposed to be out of the house.
I'm supposed to be somewhere right now.
Where is that? Oh, work. Gotcha.
So the Four Nations tournament, the hockey tournament, released its rosters, and there was one omission that has caught St. Louis Blues fans by surprise. There's been a little bit of a debate about whether Robert Thomas was snubbed from Team Canada. When I look at Team Canada's roster, it looks like a damn NHL All-Star roster. It is unbelievable. But, Marsh, you know more about the other teams, the other players, the positions, the setups. Did Robert Thomas get snubbed when you're looking at this roster? And be honest. Don't be a homer. Just be honest.
I think it's tough to say. I think
we want you to say it.
I think you can make the argument that he could make the team, but I understand why he didn't. And I think there's a lot of people that didn't want Colton Parayko on the team. A lot of fans that don't watch Blues hockey. Not a lot of, Anthony, here's a shocker. Not a lot of people outside of the city of St. Louis watch the Blues play hockey other than when their team plays them. What? And so, guys
call that a regional sport, like baseball.
You got guys like Dom Lucian and Jay Fresh Hockey on X. talking about how Colton Parayko.
That's J. Cole's brother.
I don't think they're related.
so.
I don't think so.
Crapping all over Colton Parayko, saying he shouldn't be on the team. Have you watched this guy play hockey?
I have.
He's a great
they have.
defenseman. You can't have all offensive defensemen on your team. Not everybody's Cale McCarr.
Right.
Like,
Who
you
is
need-
on
He's on Team Canada. You know.
Yeah.
But like Colton Parayko, I love the pick. Obviously, I'm not going to be rooting for Team Canada.
Yeah.
That is tough, though, you know. I'm rooting for Team USA. USA all the way. But we have Blues players on Team Canada. So it's like, what do I do? What do I do here?
You root for your country.
That's,
You root
okay,
for your
that's what I
country.
thought.
You know, once those guys, once they slap the blue note on the sweater again, you're good. But no, you root for your country.
So I guess my question would be, is it broken down? I know it's based on forwards, but is it like centers, right wingers, left wingers?
Right, it's just they got 13 forwards.
Well, some of them play center, and is he better than the ones
Is he
that play
better?
center?
Who
Connor
you taking
McDavid?
off? Right?
Connor?
No. Sidney Crosby? Nathan McKinnon?
We're probably not.
I mean, we would take Brad Marchand off, but he's still a really good hockey player.
Yep.
Braden Point? No.
Sam Reinhart.
Sam Reinhart? No.
So I guess the question is,
Seth Jarvis?
Seth probably. Okay, maybe not. I don't know. I guess the question is, where do you put him? Where do you fit? Who do you take off? I think the question is, whenever there's a perceived snub of an all-star game or a Four Nations game, something like this, an all-star-like situation, who are you taking off and replacing him with?
Right.
And that's always the question. And you go down the list and you're like, well, no, maybe, but maybe not. I think that's always the question and the concern. Go ahead. I mean, if you don't like it, play better. No offense. Like, no one owes you anything. And as a professional athlete, you know that more than anyone.
Right.
Like, nobody owes you anything. If you don't like it, play better. Be better. Right? I think that always. And then Robert Thomas missed some time this year.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that played into it as well. Had he been healthy the entire season and leading his team in points, and the Blues have a 600, 700 record, then maybe you're saying, oh, this guy's playing his butt off. He's at an all-star level. He has to be on the team.
Yeah.
But you missed time, unfortunately, and other guys kept playing well for their teams.
Yeah, I think it's like what I said before. If he was on the team, I think us Blues fans and people that know how Robert Thomas plays the game of hockey, we would understand, well, this makes sense. I also understand why he's not on the team. So would you call that a snub?
No.
No. So
I think there would have to be like massive outrage for it to be a snub. Such as, I'm trying to think, like Lamar Jackson a year ago. If he didn't win MVP, that would probably cause some outrage based on how he was playing.
Or like Caitlin Clark not making the Olympic basketball team.
Yeah, and even that, you're like, okay, first year, we'll see. But yeah, I think there's definitely, if there is a true snub, I think there's got to be at least some outrage to it. Like, just flat out, why is this happening? You have that person over Robert Thomas. Right. I don't think we have that here.
Grant Francis Fan Club says, I would honestly have Ryan O'Reilly on this Canadian roster before Robert Thomas. You're talking about someone who would be in a shutdown role.
That's fair.
There's so many different players that you could put on this roster. I mean,
yeah.
Think about it.
It's Team Canada. It's like the early '90s Cowboys. You know,
pick somebody.
Yeah,
any position,
or the greatest show on turf.
Yeah,
you're having issues getting the guys from the greatest show on turf into the Hall of Fame because, like, well, what did he do?
Well, he was really damn good. 4 of his teammates are in as well. Right. You should think about that.
That's why it's a juggernaut. All right, hey, Blues fans, you can join Alex Ferrario this Sunday from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Verizon located on Olive Boulevard in Creve Coeur. The Verizon in Creve Coeur is one of the many participating area Verizon locations where you can stop by and enter the Verizon Discover NHL Winter Classic sweepstakes now through December 18th. That includes, you want to listen up for this, man, this little prize pack here is amazing. That includes your chance to win 4 tickets plus some spending money to see the Blues play in the Discover NHL Winter Classic. Stop by this Sunday. Get entered into that amazing giveaway. And you can also enter to win a pair of tickets to an upcoming Blues home game that Alex will be giving away while he's at Verizon. Again, that's this Sunday from 1 to 3 with Alex Ferrario at the Verizon on Olive Boulevard in Creve Coeur. You can get all the details at 101ESPN.com. NFC North battle tonight on Thursday Night Football. I know a lot of us will be locked into Blues and Flames, and we'll certainly get back to the Blues at some point. But when it comes to the football season, is this the biggest test for the Lions? It might, and I'm not even just talking about from an opponent standpoint. We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. Tonight, you got NFC North matchup between the Packers and the Lions. You guys make your picks for tonight?
Marcia was looking at me. I said, I don't know what we're doing coming into this segment.
Oh, Lions and Packers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to ask you, before we came back on.
Sure.
I ask you every day. You're a saint. I do want you to know. Not a New Orleans saint, but a saint.
He's a Falcon. That's what he is.
St. Anthony. Yeah. You never get upset. I'm surprised. I would be frustrated with me.
I bottle it up.
Do you?
And then I take it home.
No, leave it here.
Do that.
Leave it here.
And then
take it home.
And then when I'm there, I just bottle up more things.
So at some point, you're going to.
I got issues.
You're going to blow up, and we're all going to be here for it.
Yeah, probably.
We love you. It's okay.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. Is tonight the toughest test for the Lions to date? And it's not just because of the Packers. And the Packers are playing well. But the Lions proved that when they went into Green Bay, dealing with the elements about a month ago, they had no issues, beating the Packers.
Yeah.
When it comes to the injuries, though, for the Lions, they're missing damn near all their starting defensive linemen. Yeah. It's not just Aiden Hutchinson now. It's DJ Reader. They've got a couple of other guys that they've either rotated key spots along that defensive line, and they've got issues that Taylor Decker along their offensive line is out again. This team is incredibly banged up.
Yeah.
You got a motivated Packers team coming off multiple wins, games that they should have won. You should beat Miami and Green Bay, and you should beat the backup, Brandon Allen of San Francisco, and a banged up 49ers team at Lambeau. Mm-hmm. They're favored. They should have won. They won in blowout fashion. But I wonder tonight with Detroit if this is one of their stiffest tests. I say yes.
Well, I'm looking at the schedule now, and they haven't had, they beat the Vikings. They won by 2 in Minnesota. That was a pretty good game. But I'm looking at the entire schedule, and they haven't had that real challenge. They went to Green Bay. That was their first outdoor game. They had played everything inside up until that point, and managed to defeat them in the elements. They played a really good game. But for me, this is a really huge test because, as you said, even with that Green Bay game, I think Jordan Love was still coming back and not completely all the way healthy from the injury that he had sustained earlier in the year. Mm-hmm. I think this is the biggest challenge because, it's a division rival. It's hard to beat a division rival multiple times in a season. And you're battling because you're right there with the Vikings, the Packers. Anybody can win this division. So the Packers are extremely motivated going into this game. Yes, the Detroit Lions are extremely talented, but they are banged up. They are dealing with a lot of injuries. And it just feels like you're kind of waiting on the attrition to catch up with them. You play that many games as you did last year, made it to the NFC Championship game. Yep. You come back this year, you're on fire, and you're just kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop to say, when is this Lions team going to have one of those stinker-type games?
And that doesn't mean that they're not going to go to the Super Bowl. It doesn't mean that they're not going to win the Super Bowl, not going to win. That doesn't mean that they're not going to win the NFC Championship and all that stuff. It just means that right now, the injuries have completely taken a toll on this team.
I think that this week for the Lions, tonight's game is sort of like the tune-up game to next week, right? I think it can set the tone for what the Lions look like for these next 2 weeks because they're taking on the Buffalo Bills. Mm-hmm. That's a really good football team. And if you lose this week, maybe you're starting to feel those injuries a little bit more. I think you can get away with the injuries if you continue to win, right? The guys are stepping up. You're still winning. You're like, all right, we're making it through this rough patch of the season, but we're still winning games. If you lose this game and then you lose next week too, that could ultimately decide whether or not you're playing in your nice, cozy Ford Field Dome or if you're in Philly at the end of the year 100%. Playing in the NFC Championship game on the road. These two games.
Absolutely.
I think that matters. Yep. I think not that they can't play in the elements, but they are a dome team. Mm-hmm. They are, and they're physical. They're physical enough to run in the cold elements and the snow and the rain and all of those things. But you would much rather be at home. You don't want to have to travel. And with the NFC and how it's setting up now, you lose 2 games. You lose this week and next week. You could be not even have a home game in the first round.
I think you're all right. Well, because the division.
Vikings,
yeah.
in the
Good
division.
call. Yep.
You're right there where the Vikings could take over first, or the Packers could take over first if you falter in these next couple of weeks. So I think it's extremely, there's a lot of pressure to continue to play at the level that they've been playing and win this game. And I did have a question from my man Marshy over here.
Yes.
I know you don't like the Packers, but are you rooting for them tonight?
So I was actually thinking about this because, I mean, I don't. This is a tough thing for me because if the Packers win, then they're that much closer to the NFC title, the NFC North title. Do I want separation between the Vikings and the Packers? I think ultimately I want the Lions to lose. I want them to lose. Because then the Vikings would then sort of control their own destiny, where then you have to beat the Packers, then you have to beat the Lions, and then they just go from there. Rather than the Lions, they don't lose, they have one loss going into the final week of the season, and let's be honest, I think the Vikings will probably drop another one by the end of the year. Yeah. If they don't, great, but I'm just kind of throwing that out there. So if the Lions do lose and then the Packers have they have 3 losses right now, I think that bodes well for the Vikings. I don't know. It's definitely tough. It's a tough decision.
You got a chance if the Packers win tonight that the Vikings would be tied at the top of the division. Yeah. If they beat Anthony's Falcons this weekend.
Well, they got to do that. They got to take care of business.
Don't worry about it.
They will.
But they got Kirk Cousins throwing the ball.
They did lose the head-to-head though to the Lions.
Yeah, but they got another one the last game of the year.
Right,
so
right.
That could be
That's what I'm saying. Right. It's in your own hands at that point.
Yep.
It's on the road though. Be on the road, and the game does not have a time yet, so it is a flexible game.
Sunday night.
Probably, if it does come to that, that'd be awesome.
Circling back to tonight's game, do you guys remember what happened last year on Thanksgiving?
No, I don't remember what happened last Thanksgiving.
Last week.
No.
Yeah. Do you remember?
Thanksgiving. The Miami Dolphins defeated the Jets on Black Friday.
Oh, last year?
Last year.
I don't remember.
Give us a hint.
We saw these two teams.
These two teams.
Did we?
That we will see tonight. Yeah.
Who won?
Oh, wait, the Packers won, I think.
The Packers were 4-6.
That's right, and they came back and they started their run to the playoffs.
They went into Detroit, who was 8-2.
Oh.
And Jordan Love threw for 3 touchdowns in a Packers upset. I don't think that Green Bay is going to be intimidated going into Detroit. That's kind of the nice thing about division rivalries. I don't know how you felt, Carey.
Yes.
You just you're pumped up.
These guys.
Yeah.
Like when everybody else looked at the Ravens as they're this tough team. We're like,
so it was no.
We're the tough team.
Sure. So tonight to me is fascinating.
Yeah.
In a variety of ways. And I didn't even think about, Carey, like you said, the Lions even losing the grip in the NFC North. Because when you said, well, they could fall out, not have a playoff, I'm like, well, Seattle's not going to catch them. Atlanta's not going to catch them.
Division.
The damn Vikings and Packers would, though. Right. So, yeah, the implications are pretty high when it comes to this NFC North matchup tonight, Thursday Night Football. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh says, what's trending next?
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues take on the Calgary Flames tonight. You can listen to that one right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 7. Puck drop is at 8. You'll hear Chris Kerber on the call tonight, and we'll talk with him at 2:45, so stay tuned for that. Once again, Chris Kerber, 2:45, as the Blues take on the Calgary Flames tonight. We have What's Trending coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
What's trending now in the world of sports?
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
What's Trending Now is brought to you by Goodwill, creating opportunities and changing lives. Together, building a brighter future. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, I saw this earlier today, and I thought, wow, am I living a dream right now?
All right.
I thought, what I'm reading right now can't be true. That the Athletics and Luis Severino have reached a 3-year, $67 million deal, which is the largest guarantee in the franchise's history, sources told ESPN today.
So Luis Severino got a deal, and he's like, I'll take it. Well, here's the thing. You're going to be playing. I'll take it.
Doesn't care.
You're going to be an Athletic. That's fine.
Where are we playing? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
So what part of, so we have the Athletics and then we have Luis Severino. Which party do you find it more shocking, that Luis Severino decided to be an Athletic, or that the Athletics decided to actually pay a player?
It's a good question.
The A's paid a player because they haven't. They had.
That's true, because, I mean, if you're
a player, you offer me what? When do I sign?
Yeah, and he had to capitalize here off of last season.
You don't care. I mean, you care. You care. I don't want to say you don't care. You care about, but if your options are limited, or if one number is far greater than the other, and you haven't had that huge contract, you're going to sign where the money is, because that sets up you for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
like it's not crazy.
Yeah, you're not going to. If it's a situation where it's like, here's a 1-year deal with a contender.
Yeah. Or
here's over $60 million for 3 years.
Yeah.
All of it guaranteed, by the way. But you're going to be playing in Vegas / Sacramento / Oakland / San Francisco /
It's okay.
Wherever.
No, whatever.
San Jose.
You get to set your life up for the rest of your life. That's what we play. I mean, we play the game because we love it, right? We love.
But there's a business component.
There is yes, sir.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that you are putting yourself and your family in a position to, hopefully, people don't have to work as hard as they've worked to get to that point.
Right. So I would say, to answer your question, the A's actually paying somebody.
Yeah. Didn't know they were trying. You think that would be a Cardinal? The Cardinals could have gave him that contract. You think that's too much money? $22 million a year?
I would have given him a 1-year deal last year.
But this 3 years.
I was thinking the same.
$22 million.
Yeah, that's
if
not
the
bad.
A's can do it, you can do it.
But are you getting rid of Michaelis and Steven Matz? Like, is that come with the package too?
Well, yeah. I mean,
you got some young guys. We're talking about not blocking position players. I don't want to block pitchers either. But yeah, you could have done that.
Sure. I'm just wondering, because you wanted him last year.
I did.
Yeah.
Do you think the A's will pull an LA Rams and start actually trying to win now that they're moving?
Yes. Yes, I do. The Raiders, as soon as they moved from Oakland to Vegas, that deal was massive. Their organization went through the roof in terms of value, even with not playing well. So I think at some point, yeah, the A's move into Vegas, they'll cash in and they'll start to try again, which is a shame because we know how that feels in St. Louis. Carey, you and I covering crap football.
It was bad.
Fans watching crap football.
And then they say,
all right.
F them picks, we trying to win.
Right.
Well, what the hell were you? What? You don't think Steven Jackson wanted to win?
We could have F them picks.
You don't think? You definitely could have F'd some of them picks.
What bothers me the most out of this whole situation is that they did not have you two in consideration during those post games. You know, they could have built a better team, so it would have made your job a little bit easier.
Thanks, Marsh.
Marsh, let me tell you something. 12 midnight, 1 a.m. after a game in San Francisco or
preseason was worse.
Seattle, it was tough. It was tough times, brother. You talking about a team that rushed for 1.7 yards per carry?
What?
Oh yeah, it was a night. It was a night, Marshy.
We look forward to breaking down the rest of the league.
Yeah.
Like those segments that were set up to break down the rest, like whatever else happened in the NFL that day.
It was tough.
I remember when I went to college, nowhere near the city of St. Louis, and I spent money on whatever the NFL package was so I could watch these Rams.
Oh, no.
And it was...
Not money well spent.
No,
It was
that's
interesting.
tough, especially as a college kid.
Well, actually, I feel like that final year, they actually were not terrible.
That's the best way you can say that.
Yes.
They were not terrible.
They won an overtime game against the Seattle Seahawks in the Dome. I actually went to a Rams-Vikings game while I was still a Rams fan at where the Gophers play, the TCF Bank. They lost that game.
It was cold there, wasn't it?
Oh, it was super cold.
Yeah.
Super cold. That was the final time I ever watched my Rams play a football game.
Well, you made it.
I made
Here.
it.
Yeah.
Actually, it was one of those things where mid-game I switched teams. Kidding.
That's the day that Marsh became a Vikings fan.
I'm kidding. I waited until the season was over.
And you knew they were gone.
Yeah. UCLA is firing offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy after one season. A source confirmed to ESPN today. What has happened to Eric Bieniemy?
He left the Chiefs.
He left Patrick Mahomes.
I think, and this is the part where I understand, when people don't want to take a job, and I think Eric Bieniemy was up for a couple of jobs, but he wasn't selected for a head coaching job when he was having success with the Chiefs. He left and then went to Washington for a year, and then went to UCLA, and it's just 2 years removed from being a champion to now searching for a job. I think it's tough. Coaching is a tough business. I think he's a heck of a football coach. I think he understands, the nuances of how to scheme guys and scheme teams up to be successful offensively. But I think the personality part of it rubs people the wrong way. You saw the Commanders last year. You heard some of their players chirping about how hard he was on them. And I think you have to find, you can still be demanding of your players, but you have to find that line where there's still respect there. And I think sometimes, from what I've been told, it comes off as Eric Bieniemy is very, very tough to deal with.
Which I would think, assuming that it's done in a good way, I actually think that's something that an organization should want. I remember some of the articles coming out about Vic Fangio last year in Miami and how the players thought he was way too rough on them, real too tough on them. The practices were too hard. He gets to Philadelphia, and albeit there was a little bit of a learning curve there, but look at that Eagles team now.
Yeah.
There has to be some sacrifice that is made. Now, if you're just pure jerk and you don't care about the players and you don't really know what you're doing, that's different. But if you're trying to implement a system that works, and you know that, and you believe in your players, and you can show them, hey, just follow me, trust me on this. I know it's going to be hard now, but eventually it's going to pay off. That's different.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan is notoriously somebody that doesn't get along well with like scouts and some of his GMs in front office, but it's done in a way that's like, hey, I'm going to stand on the table because I know this is right. Here's some pushback. But I think he's also somebody that's open to, okay, if you got an idea or you think that this is best for the organization, then I'll go with it. But there's got to be some pushback there.
Yeah.
All right, that's what's trending here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We do have Chris Kerber coming up, so we'll talk a little Blues hockey with him. Maybe we'll get his viewpoint on the Four Nations rosters. I also want to talk to him about Dylan Holloway, Philip Broberg, and this really what we can call as a new look Blues team. Next, Kerbs here on 101 ESPN.
Hey, listen, it's that time of the year. You know you're turning that furnace on. We're up here in Calgary, and I know you're getting blasted with even colder weather there in St. Louis. So if that furnace is making some noise, if it's not blowing heat the way it should be blowing, there's actually a recommended variance of temperature of the heat that leaves the actual unit to by the time it comes out of one of your vents. Do you know what it is? If it's not blowing hot enough for you, get a hold of Classic Air Care. Have them come in and have them check it out. Make sure that it's blowing the right amount of heat and it's getting to the right parts of the house. Those are the kind of services they'll provide. They'll vacuum out the unit. They take care of it. They've got maintenance programs to make sure it's running throughout the whole winter. A couple weeks ago, they came to my house, took care of it. I know I'm set for the winter, and I also know if something does break down, which does happen, I know I can count on them to come right back out and make sure that we're up and running. They've got a 4.8 Google rating right on the top of their website at classicaircare.com. But I'm telling you, if you're walking around the house, you go, why is it cold in this part of the house? It could be that the unit isn't blowing properly. Make sure that it's working properly so you're comfortable. It's what they do. They make people comfortable. They've been making people comfortable since 1926. It's Classic Air Care. Call them up or book an appointment online at classicaircare.com.
Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Kerry Davis and Andrew Marsham, Anthony Stalter. Let's head to the Thompson and Collier phone line where we got the voice of the Blues, Chris Kerber, who you'll hear tonight cover the Blues and the Flames game in Calgary. And Kerbs, first of all, welcome back to the show. We appreciate you stopping by here.
Anthony, all good. How's life back there?
Cold, but I don't think it's any colder than Alberta, Canada at this point. So
I think you guys are actually a lot colder. We're walking around. It's like 45 up here today.
Oh, you do got us today. Yesterday was a little warmer, but yeah, it's cold today. Speaking, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, I think we're all I think we got you beat by a mile up here.
Okay, fair enough. Well, the Blues have had the Flames number 4 straight at the Saddle Dome. They've won 3 in a row overall versus the Flames, and they've scored 3 or more goals in 7 of their last 8 meetings versus the Flames. So what is it about this matchup that has favored the Blues in the past?
Yeah, I think, one, they get solid goaltending in it. I think it's been a Calgary Flames team that for several years now has been in transition, kind of much like the Blues, and the Blues have gotten some bounces. You go back, to last January and up here, and Calgary had a 3-goal lead on the Blues. Braden Shen scored a shorthanded goal, and then the Blues rolled back with 2 third-period goals to win 4-3. So they've gotten some bounces. This game tonight's going to be an interesting one, just from the standpoint that, Calgary's played really well at home. They're 10-3. Now, they started the season off at 5-0-1. They're actually a game below 500 since then. But these are 2 teams that on the season have not scored a lot of goals. They're tied for the 6th fewest goals scored per game, over the course of the season. But the Blues under Jim Montgomery have been scoring more goals. They're averaging 3.5 goals. They've only allowed 1.5 over the 4 games on average. So something tonight's got to give. But both teams kind of find themselves in similar spots. Talked to Craig Conroy a little bit yesterday. He actually thinks that the Blues, from a turnaround standpoint, are a little bit ahead of where Calgary is, and yet Calgary is ahead of the Blues in the standings by 4 points, and then this is a team that the Blues are trying to chase down.
Curves, talk to me about the pairing of Broberg and Parayko. I've been wanting your best 2 defenders to be paired together. What did you see from those 2 the other night?
Yeah, well, there's a couple of things. One of the challenges is you could have your best 2 defensemen and put them together, but then what does it mean for the rest of the lineup? I have liked the balance that those 2 have had kind of separated, but like you, Karen, kind of wanted to see what they were like together. I thought they were great. And we don't know if Justin Falk is going to be back just yet. I know he was on the ice again, but it was an optional today, so we didn't get anything definitive on him or Butch Navich, who are actually out on the ice. That said, even if Falk comes back, it shores up, I think, even more of that bottom 4. You've got 2 very mobile defensemen, 2 guys with big sticks, 2 guys that can make it very difficult to get to the inside, and 2 guys that are playing very aggressively too. So, this and then 2 guys that when they get the puck can really get it out of the zone. I think that it's a defensive pairing that can really cause some matchup problems, even against the best of the other team, because they can shut you down and they can force that top line on another team to defend. So, we'll see if they keep them together here over a stretch of a handful of games, but I think you got to like a lot of what you saw in the Winnipeg game with those 2.
Yeah, there's no question about it. This is Chris Kerber on the line right now here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. He's the voice of the Blues for the Blues Radio Network tonight. Blues Flames pregame starting at 7 o'clock right here on 101 ESPN. Dylan Holloway, Philip Broberg, Kerbs, I'd asked Jamie of this question a couple of days ago. Is it fair to look back if the Blues if they right the ship, whether it's this season, next season, they become a consistent contender? Is it fair to look back on the acquisition of Broberg and Holloway as the turning point in this retool?
I think not so much the turning point, but I think you could look at it as the what do you call it? The launching point.
Sure.
What's the word I'm looking for? The advancement of it, right?
Yeah, catalyst, launching point.
Yeah, the catalyst. Good. Yeah. Because to me, they began that turnaround, I think, with some of the progress they made last year under Drew Bannister, getting 10 games over 500. You had some guys that made some good progress in there along those lines. Having said that, by bringing in those 2 guys, they just absolutely advanced it. Again, and talking to Conroy yesterday, or you talk to Doug Armstrong. You get a draft pick, Anthony, and even it could be a 16th overall pick. it still might be 2 years before they come into the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
And even if they do it then you're still talking a couple years while they're still learning. I mean, look at what Jake Neighbors is doing now in his third year, right? I mean, essentially fourth, but really third, second full. You're looking at a scenario where it takes some time. What the Blues did is they traded a second-round pick that's not going to impact your team in all likelihood for 5 or 6 years. A third-round pick is what the compensation was for Holloway, and you get 2 guys that are ready to play in the NHL right now that already even have a long playoff run experience. To me, it just advanced the process 3 years. 3 years, easily, by getting those 2 guys in there. And I'll tell you, I don't know where you guys are at on this one. We were talking about it last night at dinner. Remember when they signed those contracts, they said, well, you kind of got to overpay to get a guy, right? You kind of got to overpay some guys if you're going to do that in free agency. Guys, I don't think right now, based on what we're seeing, you are overpaying either one of them. I think they are living right up to their contract, and you can make the case maybe even surpassing it. So that is a heck of a bonus for the St. Louis Blues right now. But you're absolutely right. Sometimes then I wonder if teams should do this more. And, Howard Balzer used to talk about this, about the NFL all the time, too. And I agree with him. Sometimes it takes you a long enough time to develop a prospect that if you can move a prospect for someone that's got a few more years experience and kind of is ready to take off, man, can you advance where your team can go in a hurry. And I think that's exactly what the St. Louis Blues have done with these 2 guys.
Curbs, real quick, Frick James from the Snake Pit, our listeners showing once again how smart they are, smarter than we are. Maybe the best word would be accelerants. The accelerants.
Yeah, that's true. Listen, as I was trying to come up with the word, I kept thinking of that scene in Backdraft where, where Robert De Niro's character is just kind of squirting that juice on the floor and watching which way the fire was flowing.
Oh, yeah.
That's the image I had, and I couldn't come up with a damn word for it.
That's the accelerant, ain't it?
Man, Backdraft. What an underrated movie. That was a great flick. Backdraft.
Oh, yeah, it's a you go, we go.
I've never heard of that movie before, and someone I was talking to yesterday mentioned that movie.
Really?
So now I've heard this movie be mentioned 2 days in a row.
It's really,
That's
it's
the
older.
universe telling me something.
It's
you need
older,
to watch
but it's really good. Kurt Russell and I mean, there's a lot of Kiefer Sutherland, Donald Sutherland is in that one.
That's a good movie.
Yep.
Yeah, Robert De Niro's in there. You had one of the Baldwin brothers.
Yeah, one of them. I think it's Billy. I think it's Billy Baldwin. Yep.
Billy? Yeah, all right.
Curbs, the Four Nation rosters came out yesterday. What did you think about it? And a couple of Blues on there, but Robert Thomas not on there. What did you think about the snub of Robert Thomas?
Well, I don't think it's a snub. I mean, I don't think it's a snub at all. I think you got to really earn your way into that group. I mean, look, you're talking about Canada putting the best of the best out there. And they had a philosophy, and there's 2 philosophies when you build these teams. And I was talking to Doug Armstrong about this. One is, do you just take the best of your best, stack them 1 through 4 in terms of forwards, right? And then just send beef on bun out there on the ice and see if somebody can stop you. Or the other one is, do you try to make more of a team where you might have a bit of a grind line out there, that kind of thing. The one thing that Canada is extraordinarily deep at is center. And I think Robert Thomas's time is absolutely coming. And shoot, it could be the Olympics next year. You don't know, right? But when you're talking McDavid and Crosby at center and what they have on there, it's especially from a center spot, it's a hard one to go. I think, look, if Robert Thomas continues to have what I think could be a Selke caliber season, and we've seen it since he's returned from injury again, he's going to get much more consideration, especially with Army being the general manager of Team Canada next year. So I really don't view it as a snub in this case. I do think that, you've got a couple Tampa Bay Lightning players on there that you've got the head coach of Tampa, John Cooper, that's going to coach the team. So there's familiarity there and that kind of thing. I love the fact, by the way, though, like to me, Parayko seemed like a no-doubter. I love the fact that he made that team. Jordan Binnington is going to clearly get a great chance to play there, and I love the fact that Davey Alexander, the Blues goaltending coach, was named as the goalie coach for Team Canada there, and then Elliot Mandu is the Blues video coach. He was also named to that coaching staff. So a lot of Blues represented. You got to be thrilled for Parayko. You got to be thrilled for Binnington, and Robert Thomas's time is coming, guys. I mean, he continues to prove himself and continues to grow, and he's going to have a great chance to represent Team Canada, I think, in years to come.
Well said. Well said. All right, Curbs, we'll let you go. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great call tonight. We'll be listening.
All right, guys. Have a great afternoon. Talk to you next week.
Thank you. That's Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues, here on 101 ESPN. We will talk to Jamie Rivers at the bottom of the next hour, get his keys to victory tonight, and also look ahead to tonight's matchup with the Calgary Flames. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Yadier Molina was on with the guys from Team A yesterday, and one of the things he talked about was his brother Yadi potentially managing and what the timeline might look like. Well, what could that mean for the Cardinals and their timeline? That's next on 101 ESPN. Could Yadi's potential timeline look like if he does want to manage? It's the Fastlane on 101 ESPN 302. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Yadier Molina Yadi's oldest brother, his eldest brother, joined TMA yesterday, and he discussed Yadi's timeline to potentially manage.
He always said it. He always said to us that he wants to manage. He wants to manage. He always said that. The problem with it's not a problem. It's a good thing to have. It's that my nephew he's going to be next 2 years are going to be the last in high school. And if he goes into baseball, Yadi, he will miss training him. He will miss all this time with him. So my thinking always was like when my nephew gets out of high school, it's more sure that Yadi will come back and coach wherever. He had offers. I'll tell you that. He had offers, not only St. Louis, he had offers to coach. Turned him down because of the family. But I think he's going to come back. I think he's going to come back when his son goes to college or something like that. He's going to make an appearance. He did the Venezuela. When he retired, he went to Venezuela. It was one game away from winning the whole thing. He went to the Classic, the baseball classic. He had a great showing. He did great with the team. The experience is there. He didn't need it to do that. We all know that he's a baseball mind. But my guess, maybe next year he might take a job somewhere or, wherever he decides to do. But I think it's going to take probably another year.
So let's start here. For those that were wondering, and we were too, so I'm not just calling out fans and I'm not calling out anybody, but remember when it was why did the Cardinals refuse to bring in Yadi to coach or help out coach? And we kind of just suggested, well, maybe Yadi's just busy. He is retired. It's a huge commitment. Whether it's 1 week, 2 weeks, it's a big commitment to come in, work with the coaching staff. Perhaps he's just devoted all his time to his family, and he's got every right to do whatever he wants. It's his time now.
Yeah.
That kind of confirmed that to me. If Yadi is, if Benji's right, and Benji would know, and Yadi's just kind of looking at, well, my son is in high school right now, he'll graduate in a couple of years. I want to be here, help train my son. I want to be here for my family. Cool. That makes a lot of sense to me. It would also make sense why he wouldn't come back and forth to St. Louis or, Jupiter even. The other thing is, do you think that this matches up potentially with the Cardinals at all?
In terms of
him managing.
What grade is his son in?
Sounds like he's a junior. I think Benji said he's going to graduate in a couple of years. In a couple of years, so maybe he's in his junior year now. I'm speculating.
I think people need to coaching, managing, anything at the professional or collegiate level. There is so much time that is spent. It is so time consuming. You are away from your family. Baseball players, they're on the road all the time. The players have it much easier because they don't have to be at the ballpark at a certain time. The managers, the coaches, it's all encompassing. Like you're always there studying, working, trying to game plan, prepare for, the matchup for tonight's game. Same thing with football. Coaches are there from 7 a.m. to midnight, sometimes till 2 a.m. Like you're working 19, 20-hour days at times. So it's a lot on you. And if you are a family person or want to see your family and take care of things in that regard, coaching is probably not in the cards. No pun intended. It takes a lot to do that. But if you are saying, and Benji is saying in a couple of years his son's going to graduate, it frees up some time from what he's doing. I don't know that the Cardinals had that in mind when they gave the extension to Ali Marmol. I think the extension was because he was going into his final year, and you didn't want to have a coach or a manager on his final year managing a team and not having a plan for the future. So I think it was more in regards to that than what Yadi had going on.
I kind of believe it kind of lines up with the timeline kind of lines up. And we just saw that with the Blues. Like Doug Armstrong had Drew Bannister as a placeholder until they wanted to get their guy. Then their guy became available, and then they went and got their guy. And things have changed. I don't know if that is the case with the Cardinals, but the timeline kind of adds up a little bit. To me, I got a bunch of young guys coming up. I mean, there's no better baseball mind than Yadier Molina to help those players.
Yeah, I think we need to segment this out, right? One, does the timeline match up? Like, let's look at everything in a vacuum. Does the timeline potentially match up based on what Benji just said? Yeah. Full stop on that. Would you want Yadi and his mind in this organization? There's no question. Mm-hmm. If we're just talking about a baseball strategist, done. But if you move on past that, and you're talking about Yadi facing the media every day, multiple times a day, not just being a strategist, but managing a team, 162 games.
Who's to say that he didn't before?
Fair. But now he's also dealing with the entire roster. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to be, and I have no idea. I'm sure Yadi is a leader, and he's a leader in his own right. But you have to lead a team. Mm-hmm. It's not just about having that baseball mentality. The other aspect here, too, is that we're not dealing with Mo or anybody else that grew up within this St. Louis organization. We're now dealing with outsiders who have no allegiance to Yadier Molina, who have no allegiance to the St. Louis fan base.
The DeWitt family does, and if the DeWitt family says Yadier Molina is our next manager,
do you think that they would do that, though?
I have no idea.
They're appointing. I don't view the DeWitts as a group that would say, "Hey, we're going to hire you to do a job, but then we're going to take over when the biggest responsibilities come into play." So just hiring a manager. That's just my viewpoint on it.
That's fair.
So I don't think it. I could see him managing. I don't know if he winds up being a big league manager 162 plus games. And again, I'm gonna hammer this point home. I don't see him wanting to deal with the media twice a day.
I mean, they're saying that he's interested in being a big league manager. So he's going to be a big league manager.
There's a lot to that.
That's fair, but he wants to do it. So at some point, he's probably going to do it. Sure. And my fear is that you had him in your backyard the entire time and you refused to give him an offer, and then he goes somewhere else and ends up being incredible and wins a World Series or takes the team to, the next level, and you once again let that guy go.
Right.
And if he wants to do it, he understands what comes with it. Like, he's not oblivious to understanding. Like, it may take, some time to kind of smooth out the edges and the rough parts, because it is a different position than playing baseball. The media availability and the necessity to do it is vastly different when you become the manager. But if he has plans and has that in his mind, I'm certain that there has been conversation with him and the people that he works with saying, hey, this is the expectation. These are the things that you're going to have to do. There's no way around it. So understanding that, and nobody knows how hard it is or how much it is until you're actually going through it. But if you have intentions on doing it, I think he's okay with that part of it.
Frick James in the Snake Pit says, not the big bad media. That's not what I mean. I don't mean like him having to deal with, this is a soft media market. It just is. I'm a part of it. We're in comparison. By comparison,
Carey's tough. What are you talking about? He's like a Stalter.
Carey's a tough guy. This is a soft media market in comparison. I don't mean him having to face the media. I mean him having to go through the grind of before games, after games. I think that takes a toll on anybody. And Yadi wasn't somebody that always, like, Yadi came from the school of Tony La Russa, where it's like, you don't give the media crap.
Yeah. And everyone loved Tony.
They are our enemy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that would wear him out.
There is the flip side of things, and a few texters have brought this up, and I have thought about this. If he does end up in the future becoming the manager of the Cardinals and it doesn't go the right way, could that affect his legacy as a St. Louis Cardinal?
I think his legacy is, it's a good question. I'm not minimizing this, but I think his legacy is well cemented. Mm-hmm. I think when people think of Yadi, it's always going to be, warm memories of Yadi the player and what he meant to this organization. I mean, look, you're still trying to like replace him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're still trying to replace Tony and Dave Duncan, for that matter.
I think people can differentiate the player versus the manager.
I do too.
Like you can have those are two separate entities. You have a great career, Hall of Fame type of career, and you don't manage well enough. Like,
right.
Well, look at Aaron Boone though. Like, I feel like Yankee fans are like, what is Aaron Boone doing with this lineup? Aaron Boone's sitting into the 2003 World Series, but you don't care right now.
They want him They want Aaron Boone, the manager, fired like it was yesterday. They also will always remember Aaron bleeping Boone.
Yeah.
And what he did in Game 7 against the Boston Red Sox. Like that part, you can't take that away for them. Yes, they want him gone.
I also think, though, if Yadi did take over a younger lineup where the guys aren't established yet, I think fans could see, hey, this isn't a him problem. This guy knows the X's and O's of baseball.
Right.
This is a roster construction issue, which has been an issue for Ollie Marmol, in my opinion. But we talked about the soft media market. We got a text from 314. You guys wear me out, but I still listen every day.
Well, that's nice. That's a crap sandwich. John also said, not like it's New York or LA media. John, you're missing the point. Again, buddy, I'm not saying it's a harsh media. It is answering the same damn questions over and over and over again. Now, I will say this, the bad seed, 1976, Benji answered the question about the media, said it wasn't an issue because Yadi wasn't going to be playing every day and dealing with the media at the same time. Guys, sitting there every day asking about questions that we're from outsiders every single day. What you're doing with your lineup, who's available, afterwards, questioning your decisions, even if it's done in a softball way. It will wear down anybody.
But I think, in my opinion, I think coaches and managers get it wrong when they're not just forthright and upfront. Like, this is the decision I made. Not always going to work out.
Right.
It's life. This is why I did it. I thought that I thought it would work out well. Didn't know he was going to swing through and miss it. Sorry.
Yep.
Why'd your pinch hit him there? Because I felt like he was going to hit a home run, damn it. He struck out.
I was wrong.
Looking. It happens. I'll be better, and he will next time.
Also in the interview, just throwing out ideas and stuff, talking with Benji, Yachty manager, Albert hitting coach, Waino and or Chris Carpenter pitching coach. Like, that sounds like an unbelievable coaching staff.
That sounds like
that St. Louis Cardinal fans would absolutely get
it'll
behind.
never happen.
Well, probably not, but we can always think about it.
Think of the bobblehead opportunities.
No, God.
Come down for Coach Bobblehead Day. Bobbleheads and fireworks.
I know what you mean, Marsh, but why do we keep going back to that?
To the bobbleheads?
Well, no.
Well, they're glorious.
But, why do we keep going back to the well?
That's players, though.
Still.
Most players don't want to coach.
Yeah.
They
don't need it. None of those guys
don't
need
have
that.
to.
None of those guys need the travel. None of them certainly need the money.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A lot of them don't. I mean,
Anthony, we're dealing with one of the best baseball minds ever in the game of baseball.
I realize that, but I just think we have a tendency to hold on to the past much more here in St. Louis than other places.
we have a great history, Anthony. You better remember.
All right.
Okay.
I'll shut my mouth now. Hot take or hot garbage is next. If you want to send in a hot take or hot garbage statement, 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Hot take or hot garbage next. ever. Hot take or hot garbage here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN Air Comfort Service. Tax line is 314-399-9646. So if you have a statement that you want us to put into the hot take or hot garbage category, send it there. Marsh, what do we got?
All right, I know we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but we did get a text from the 636. Hot take or hot garbage? The Cardinals not trading Helsley this offseason shows they haven't learned a damn thing and are still trying to be a team that just sneaks into the playoffs.
Well, let's go with hot garbage right now. Let's be positive here. I don't think that, and we will get into that Ken Rosenthal article that suggests the Cardinals want to keep Ryan Helsley. There's a lot of things that the media grabs hold of in the offseason that doesn't wind up being true. So, from my standpoint, the Cardinals should and will trade Ryan Helsley. It makes too much damn sense. The only reason to keep him is to pay him. And I don't think they're going to pay a reliever a bunch of money, especially when he's 29. I think they're probably trying to generate a bit of a market for him.
I agree. I think eventually he'll be.
Market,
I think if they are unable to trade him before the season starts, you hope that he has the same success that he had last season. Probably won't, because it's hard to. I mean, that's a lot. He had a fantastic year last year, and you probably won't get to that level of success. But as long as he stays healthy and is not injured and is still throwing gas, there'll be some teams that are interested in him at the trade deadline. But I agree with you. If you're not going to pay him, which you're probably not, you seem to be going in the youth movement direction. We should have figured that out last season. But
Carey, stay on track.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I get frustrated sometimes.
I know you do.
What are we doing?
It's fine.
Pay attention. What's going on?
It's fine. Everything's fine.
No,
take these away real quick.
Okay.
Just in case.
Yeah, because I will put them on.
Yeah, no. Let's.
Dodger Blue.
Nope. Let's not go back.
Me and Nolan Arenado like that song. So, yeah. It's a good song. Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
But, yeah. We'll figure it out.
Next one comes from Swayze. Says possible burner. No, I don't know. Could be a burner account. I don't know. Burner phone. Hot take or hot garbage? Notre Dame is the most dangerous team going into the college football playoff.
Hot garbage. That would be reserved for the Oregon Ducks. You know they're undefeated, Anthony.
I view that question more from the standpoint of, like, out of the teams that are not in, like, not Oregon.
Well, that's not what he said. He said most dangerous. All right. That's how I viewed it. I mean, I don't know. In all of the teams is how I understood it. All 12 of them that'll be playing.
Yeah.
It's not Ohio State. We saw that this past weekend.
No.
It's not Alabama if they are in. Oh, God, I'm so bothered that they're in.
I don't know who would be the most dangerous team. Like, Indiana's fun to watch, but we saw them struggle against Ohio State.
Yeah. Who else? Penn State?
You don't know. No. I can't say Notre Dame is like the most dangerous. To me, they are somebody that, like, that offensive line is massive. The running game is excellent. Their defense is pretty good. You have to go to South Bend. Like, that's going to be a physical game that you're going to have to play. But their outside weapons, not there. Like, that is not an explosive team at all. So maybe I'm taking dangerous to be almost like too literal in terms of, like, being an offensive team. But I just don't know who else who you would consider dangerous. Like, South Carolina would be dangerous if they got in because of the way that they're playing. With Sellers under center, the defense is really good. Like, that, to me, that would be a dangerous team if South Carolina would get in.
The team that was supposed to be dangerous was Texas. And they got stomped versus Georgia. And it's probably going to be a repeat, seeing as how the SEC championship game is in Atlanta. It's in Georgia. A little geographical.
There's still, what? What's the distance from Atlanta to Athens?
I think like 80 miles.
It's a long time. It's a long drive.
I don't think
not as long as Austin.
90 miles.
Home
maybe?
game for the Bulldogs.
Yes.
So I'll say hot. I'll say hot garbage, but just because I can't find a. No, I'll say South Carolina's the most dangerous team. We just got to get them in.
No, that's not happening.
Yeah,
okay,
we'll get to that later.
They're not in. They're out.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
From 636, hot take or hot garbage, Dylan Holloway will be A top 3 goal scorer for the Blues this season.
For the Blues, I could see that. Yeah, I think that's a hot take.
Where is he at now?
I
might agree with that.
He's one of just 15 players with at least 4 goals since November 25th.
Well, he's second right now. Yeah.
Since November 25th, Dylan Holloway, Calgary native, one of just 15 players with at least 4 goals. I'll say yes. I think that's a hot take.
I'll say no. I think Jordan Kyrou will. You said top 3. Jordan Kyrou, Booch, and Jake Neighbors will be higher. He'll be just out of the top 3.
I'm gonna stick with it.
Hey, how about
I
this?
think he's in the top 3.
Now that we're looking at the Blues, Anthony Statler.
Anthony Statler.
Top 5 guys in plus minus, and plus minus, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Top 5 players on the Blues: Dylan Holloway plus 7, Philip Broberg plus 6, Jordan Kyrou plus 4, Scott Perunovich plus 4, Zach Bolduc plus 4.
That's a lot of good young talent.
Good young talent
that you're leaning on for the future.
It's good to see.
Yeah.
2 guys weren't even here last year. One of the guys everyone hates. One of the other guys they're trying to get rid of.
Who?
People want to get rid of Perunovich. They have.
Well.
And they hate Jordan Kyrou. You knew who that one was. That was obvious.
Do they hate him as much now?
They still hate him, yes. You see, you're not
Jim
on the
Montgomery's
text line.
hands all over him?
Huh?
Like the ayahuasca?
Yep.
In the dark room?
Yep.
Hundreds of hands.
That's correct.
2 of them were Jim Montgomery's probably.
Exactly.
Nah, I think if Jim
Kid's
would have
playing
touched,
well.
I think if Jim Montgomery touched Aaron Rodgers, he'd be playing better.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's interesting, and it could be very quick. From the 618, hot take or hot garbage, trading for Kyle Shanahan is the Bears' best option for head coach.
It will never happen,
Yeah.
but that's 100% truth. Kyle Shanahan will never go to the dysfunctional Chicago Bears. I don't care how many times What's His Balls writes it for Pro Football Talk or whatever it is.
Who is it?
Florio.
Did he say that?
Florio had that. I think
thought it was
that
the,
report came from Florio.
I thought it was Peter King.
I don't think it was King. I think it was Florio.
Peter King still around?
Yeah, but I don't think he's writing it anymore.
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I don't think he's...
Peter King?
Yeah.
It's the guy that wrote the Lord of the Rings trilogy?
No.
that's him.
Was that
Yeah.
Peter Jackson?
Peter Jackson.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah.
Michael's
Jackson.
brother.
Oh, really?
Nope. I don't
Phil?
think so.
What about Phil?
It's Phil.
It's Phil's brother.
Kyle Shanahan will never go to Chicago. He will never work for...
Why would he?
What's his face?
Ryan Poles?
No, the other one. Kevin Warren, who used to be with the Big Ten.
Well,
Ticked off Harbaugh. Like, no. Kevin Warren is running that organization right now. I don't care how many times he shoves Ryan Poles into the media's frame.
Why didn't the Bears hire Jim Harbaugh?
He wanted to go there.
Yeah, why didn't they hire him?
Kevin Warren was there. Him and Warren do not get along
Okay.
from their Big Ten days.
So was Jim
Kevin Warren's
Harbaugh
a
willing?
problem.
Was he willing to put that aside to be the Bears head coach?
He wanted to be there. I don't know what the story. Look, we've only got the framework of the story. I don't know the details. But Harbaugh reportedly wanted to be the Bears head coach. But either Warren stepped in or Harbaugh didn't want to work with Warren, and the whole thing blew up. So you got Matt Eberflus.
good luck.
not
for another
anymore.
year.
Well, not
Yeah.
not anymore.
No, but I'm saying
They can hire me.
last year.
Right.
I can go get it right.
I know you can, buddy.
Yeah.
And who you, hey,
My OC.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, real quick here from the 636, I'm surprised Anthony and Florio are not good buddies. They both hate Kirk Cousins. LOL.
Does he?
You got to
According to
revisit this
636.
conversation now, huh? You got to revisit your thoughts.
No, I'm not a big Florio guy. I don't know.
You're not a big Kirk Cousins guy either.
No, I am not.
Shame on you when Kirky throws for 387, 395 this weekend, and 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Now, 2 of those interceptions will come in the red zone and
hope
prevent
so.
them from scoring.
Yeah, that'd be great.
One of them will be in the red zone. The other one will be backed up, and it'll probably be a
game.
pick 6. But he's going to play a hell of a game.
That'd be great.
Are they playing Tampa?
No, they're playing the Vikings.
Oh,
You know
okay.
the schedule.
Because if they're not playing Tampa, then Kirk Cousins stinks. I would love to look at his numbers without
Metellus.
the Tampa games. and how dramatically
don't
that
do
changes.
There's no need to do that.
No, there's plenty of reason to do that.
Is Marshy over there having a Rain
I'm just
Man
thinking
moment?
about all of the
He's
different
calling out. He's like
defenders
seeing
that could take him to the house.
Harrison Smith for sure.
Yeah, he was a little banged up towards the end of that last game.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, what about Shaq Griffin? You know, he could maybe do it too.
Hey, Marsh, you got one goal this weekend. Okay, you got
Andrew
one.
Van Ginkel can definitely do it.
Hey, focus. You got one mission
to win
and embarrass him. Okay.
I mean, I'll do everything I can, Anthony. If I had to pick the Falcons twice in our Pick'em challenge, I would. Just to embarrass Kirk.
If this kid goes up there and you win the game and he plays well, you and I got issues. If you're going to win,
you know what?
You embarrass him.
You know who's going to the game?
Who?
Grant Francis.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Grant Francis.
So if they lose and Kirk goes off,
I'll blame him.
I want to blame him.
And you.
You don't have to blame me.
He's betting on the Falcons.
I don't care.
With the intent that the Falcons will lose and his Vikings will win. Mm-hmm. He sacrificed so many shots in the butt for his team. It is to be studied.
All right, let's move on.
They can clinch the playoffs this week.
Some more blues talk. Dylan Holloway, career year. What is the ceiling for this young man? Is there a ceiling? We'll chat with our guy, Jamie Rivers, about that next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues take on the Calgary Flames tonight. You can listen to that one right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 7. Puck drop is at 8. We talked earlier today with Chris Kerber. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Schaefer Door Company 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We're going to dive more into your St. Louis Blues as we have Jamie Rivers on the line. He is up in Calgary right now. We'll discuss Blues, Flames, next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
On 101 ESPN, Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head to the Thompson and Collier phone line. Our guy Jamie Rivers is on the line right now. Jamie, how the hell are you?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
We're doing real good.
Jamie, do you miss us? We miss you.
I miss you guys a lot. Right. I told Ryder earlier today, I was like, I hope the darn internet works in Edmonton because I miss doing radio with my boys.
Man.
Well, we hope to have you back tomorrow because, and this might be a surprise to the listeners, but since we did not do it at the end of November because of the holiday, we will have a Freedom Friday tomorrow.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. It's Freedom Friday tomorrow. So that Wi-Fi in Edmonton,
get it fired up.
Work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or I'm just going to be on the phone the whole time with you guys.
That's fine.
Just the way we'll do it.
Absolutely. I don't care who you have to punch.
You don't want to punch anybody.
Just make sure you do it.
Nah, you don't want to go to jail and he got to come home.
No,
he knows people up there.
He does, but we've been through. We don't need to do that. Just Jamie, don't punch anybody.
We don't need to do that. Anthony, we don't need to go to Mach 1 here. Okay, Anthony, just settle down.
It's Freedom Friday. If we're not going to go to Mach,
I know, Anthony.
If we're not going to go to Mach 1 on a Freedom Friday, when are we going to do it?
I mean, you're not right very often, but this might be the one time you are.
That's another crap sandwich. I've eaten a couple of those today. All right. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We got Jamie on the line. Jamie, when it comes to I want to talk to you about Dylan Holloway again, because this kid has just been, and I know you're a smitten kitten when it comes to Broberg. I get it. But when it comes to the Calgary native Dylan Holloway, since November 25th, he's one of just 15 players with at least 4 goals. Thus far, he's having a career year already. 26 games, 8 goals, 15 points. Can you kind of like in hockey terms, describe what Dylan Holloway has meant to this Blues team?
Well, look at the speed he brings to this roster. Like, that's the one thing the last couple of years, in particular last year, like the Blues just weren't a fast team. You know, they had some guys who could bring the speed, but they weren't a fast team. And Army added a bunch of speed in the offseason. But with Holloway, like, he operates at a high level while skating really fast. Like, if you watch him, he's a lot like Jordan Kyrou. And I've said this before, is whether you like Jordan Kyrou's game or you don't or whatever, it doesn't matter. When you watch him, you have to admit that he does some pretty awesome things while skating at full speed. And that's a skill that a lot of players don't have. Like, you see the Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid, like these guys, they do it. They operate at high speed. But a lot of other guys have to kind of pump the brakes to handle the puck properly, and, they coast a little bit. Holloway doesn't have to. He operates at, warp speed, and he handles the puck. And now he's scoring because he's shooting the puck more. So, yeah, he has added a whole layer of offense, and also he upped the overall speed of this team.
Jamie, so we had you on, I think it was yesterday, and I could hear in your voice the excitement that you were having for this Blues team. Are you feeling like they have kind of turned the corner, dealing with the injuries, got past that, figuring some things out, and this team can potentially make a run here towards the playoffs and be earlier in this process than maybe most people thought?
Yeah, I do, Carey. And look, nobody likes to have your favorite team not winning on a regular basis. It's tough. And you want the team to be successful. You like the guys and you like the coaching staff and all that stuff. But it just wasn't there the last couple of years. And Army, called it the retool/rebuild, whatever it is. And so you're kind of expecting to have those bumps in the road. But honestly, like what Army was able to do this last offseason, and then let's be honest, being able to find a head coach like Jim Montgomery out there, it's almost like this recipe is finally coming together. And I look at this team, and I don't think there's a team, like when I watch this team play right now, and then I look at the guys that are on the injured list, when those guys come back, I just don't see a team in the league that the Blues can't play with. It doesn't mean they're going to beat everybody. It doesn't mean I think they're Stanley Cup contenders. I'm just saying that at least now, they're in the conversation of being a team that's hard to play against, where some of the best teams in the league, it's not just a free-for-all night or, it's an easy game in St. Louis tonight. Like, nobody's going to be saying that. And so that's the part that excites me.
All right, so, Jamie, if there is one area that they can make the most strides in from now until, I don't know, whatever, what is that area of their game that you look at, you're like, okay, if they can really shore up this, now we're talking about this Blues team getting to another level?
Yeah, I think consistency still. They're playing great hockey right now, and I'm not taking anything away from the team or the coaching staff, nothing. But it is a small sample size under Jim Montgomery. It's only been a handful of games that they've played. They played very well, but still they even had that one game against Philadelphia where it was like, it's kind of rearing its ugly head here a little bit. So for me, that's still the main goal, is being consistent night in and night out, the details, the process, all these things that Monty's talking about right now. That for me is what has to get solidified, is a consistency, so that every night when you turn on the Blues game, like as a fan, you know what you're going to get. You're not sitting there going, "Oof, I hope they show up tonight."
Right.
Yeah, I hope they show up and play well tonight. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to, seeing your energy in between the benches, Jamie. You have done a fantastic job, and that's the only time I've gotten to see your face here in the last week or so, and it's troubling me a little bit, brother.
He's lonely.
Yeah, and
Carey, I'll send you a picture, Carey. Okay?
Thank you. No, you know what? Actually,
good call on that. Nope.
I'll pass.
You know what? Not great at all. All right.
Oh, I can't believe you're declining my offer.
I'll just wait to see you in person.
All right. Jamie's got keys to victory tonight, and we will light the lamp next on 101 ESPN.
Wait, hang on, Anthony. Hang on here.
What?
Yeah, I know you're trying to stay on clock. You've already done a poor job of that.
Thank you. That wasn't even a crab sandwich.
That's why I didn't have a question, because I thought we were going to break. I looked at the time, and then Anthony was peering into my soul, and I didn't have anything to say because I thought we were going to break. But
I want to know. I want to know when Marshy. I want to know when Marshy schedules Dom Lucian for the show.
Oh, geez. No, we were talking about him earlier today, him and Jay Fresh on X. Those two, for whatever reason, just think Colton Parayko is the worst hockey player on the planet.
In ever, Bob.
And, man, it felt real good to see him on Team Canada's roster and just shove it right where the sun don't shine for those two gentlemen. If that's what you're referring to.
Yeah, it's what I'm referring to. It's the first thing I thought of. Is that terrible? Like, I was happy for Colton, but the first thing I thought of was, I can't wait for Dom to eat a big old crab sandwich.
No spike.
All right, we can go to break now.
No spike there. Good mic drop there. All right, Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter. It's the Fast Line on 101 ESPN. Jamie's got the keys to victory. And again, we'll light the lamp next. Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We have your shot to score a pair of tickets to see your St. Louis Blues take on the New Jersey Devils on December 17th at Enterprise Center. The first 12,000 fans in attendance that night will take home a Jake Neighbors Winter Classic bobblehead courtesy of Pepsi Zero Sugar. Here's your trivia question. Our guy Jamie Rivers is on the line. The last segment, right at the end, he said that he wanted somebody to eat a crap sandwich. Who was it? And here's the thing. You got to spell the name right.
Oh.
Text in 314-399-9646 to win free tickets to Blues and Devils on December 17th. Hey, we're giving away Blues tickets, so you got to get this one right. You got to spell the name right. Find all the ticket details and a bonus chance to register to win at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app. All right, Jamie. Keys to victory. What do you got?
Play like last game.
Do what you did exactly last game. Take that. Roll with it tonight. You're good.
I like that.
Yeah. Just copy that and do it again. No,
specifically this matchup, what do you got?
Yeah, Calgary's been a surprise team this year so far. I keep waiting for the bubble to burst, but it's not. And they're playing very good hockey. I think you got to outwork this team. That's the number one thing is outwork, outcompete this Calgary team. You know, watching their games here, the last 3 or 4 games, they are just like that annoying dog that won't go away. They just keep coming at you, and you're going to have to match that if you're the Blues. If you take a period off, it could cost you. So, bring that to the table. Also, keep these pucks and bodies to the net. Like, the Blues are seeing quite an uptick in their offense since Jim Montgomery's taken over, and I think it's because the players have taken it personally to generate more pucks to the net and get more bodies to the net as well. You're seeing 2 guys at the net causing havoc, whether it's a screen, a deflection, or rebounds that are sitting there. So I think that, they have to continue doing that. Stay out of the penalty box. Calgary's power play at home is pretty good, and they've been putting up a lot of goals here recently. You don't want to give them that opportunity to do so. You want to stay out of the box as much as possible. The flip side of that is you'd like to get a couple here on Calgary. Their penalty kill is not fantastic. So, if you get an opportunity on the power play, you got to make it count. And I think the key too early in this game is physicality. If you're going to go into somebody else's house and try to take something from them, you might as well come in and punch them in the mouth right away.
Damn right.
And that's kind of the way I feel about it with this game is from the onset of the puck being dropped, just get after it physically. And I'm not saying throw the mitts down and have everybody fight. I mean, although that would be entertaining. I just think that bring the physicality. Let these teams know on this road trip that, you mean business. And you did that in the first game. You played very well against Winnipeg. I think you got to follow it up here in Calgary. And they'll push back. They've got some physicality, too. So it's going to be a lot like a playoff game here for these 2 teams. So those are my keys to the victory today.
Excellent. Well, let's light the lamp ahead of tonight's Blues and Flames game.
And a couple of guys can really shoot the puck.
Shoot!
I must confess you scored first.
Well, who was the first person?
Breakaway! Shoots! Score! We got hockey to learn.
All right, Marsh, what do we got for standings?
All right, our updated standings. Jamie Rivers, 5 points, thanks to Jake Neighbors putting it in the net the other night. I'm still at 3 points. Carey's at 2. And Anthony Stalter is on the board with 2 points. Thanks to Dylan Holloway. Oh, no wonder you had. No wonder you like that guy so much.
I think he's been great. He's been great.
Dylan scored 1 goal, right?
Yes, he
did. But he's worth 2 points.
He's worth 2 points. Gosh darn it.
Come on, Carey.
Listen.
You had a night. You felt good because I'm not in last place, and I got this 2 goal bump. I got you, Carey. I caught you.
All righty. Okay.
All right, Jamie.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go a different angle tonight. And here in Calgary, it's the hometown of Dylan Holloway. He's been playing really well lately. We've been talking about him. Anthony, he's your guy.
Thank you.
So I'm going to take Jake Neighbors.
Nice.
Well,
Jake the Snake.
Also his hometown here in Calgary. He's got 35 people coming to the game tonight. That boy's going to perform.
Nice. That's really funny. All right, Marshy.
I'm going to go with Colton Parayko. I'm going to go with Colton Parayko for obvious reasons.
Spicy.
Okay.
I'm torn here. Part of me wants to go chalk, RL, and the other part of me wants to go, give me Philip Broberg.
Ooh.
All right.
I like it, Carey.
Now, I know he got me on the board the other night,
Don't you go away from him.
and I know that this is his hometown, but give me Dylan Holloway.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to pick somebody else, Anthony.
I got you. I did what Jamie did. I got you. All right. Jamie, have a great call tonight, and we will see you tomorrow on a Freedom Friday here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
I will, boys. I miss you crayon eaters. Can't wait for tomorrow.
Same. We'll
Jamie,
see
you got to
buddy.
bet the board play?
Jamie,
Oh, yeah. What did I do yesterday, guys? How'd you do me?
You picked
Did
the,
you do me wrong last night?
You
No,
picked the
you
Los
picked the
Angeles Kings.
Did they win?
Yes. You can't lose.
They won 4 out of the last 5 or 5 out of the last 6, Jamie. They were down
That's what I'm
2-0.
talking about, Carey.
The Stars had won 8 of the last 10 against the
I
Kings.
couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, this guy's on a roll.
Yeah, Jamie is on a roll.
All right.
You better get a pick in today, I can tell you that.
I'll get you guys a pick in the next 5 minutes, sir.
Yeah, we've heard that
right.
before.
I'm going to ignore what you said.
All right, Jamie, we'll see you, buddy.
You got it, man. Take care,
All
boys.
right, you too. See ya. Jamie Rivers here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We also need a new Gauntlet contestant, so if you want
We
to
got
play...
one.
Oh,
we
never
got
mind.
Tom.
All right.
That's if he answers the phone.
Terrific,
of course.
Tom.
Okay.
Tom, terrific.
Tom will join us next for
Tom
the Gauntlet here on 101 ESPN.
categories, one challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
It's Fastline on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome in Tom. What's up, Tom?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are we doing?
Doing great. Appreciate you listening. Appreciate you playing today. Would you like to take on Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, or me?
I believe I will take on you, Mr. Stalter.
Oh, I'm coming off the L, so Tom, he's got me in the sights. So, all right, Tom, good luck, man.
Thank you, too.
Thank you.
All right, Tom. Anthony is heading out to the cone of silence. You tell Marshy to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel, Marshy.
Is there a particular category that you're looking for?
I mean, obviously, when you take on Anthony, you're hoping for random.
Well, what do you have, Marsh?
It's hockey today. Tony Hockey.
He is Tony Hockey. He's called himself the hockey god, if I'm not mistaken. See how this goes. So you know how this works, Tom. If you answer the question correctly, you get 2 points without the options. If you answer it correctly with the options, you get 1 point. And if you answer incorrectly, you get 0 points. And I need the questions, Marshy.
That would be a great idea, wouldn't it? I'm over here in La La Land. Not the movie, of course.
So Marshy is pulling up the questions and handing them here. Oh, I just turned my computer off somehow. All right. You ready to roll?
I am.
All right, here we go. Which team currently leads the NHL with 7 losses in overtime/shootouts?
Options, please.
Is it the New York Islanders, the Nashville Predators, or the Chicago Blackhawks?
I doubt the Blackhawks have played that many competitive games. I'll go with the Islanders. Final answer.
Question number 2. Which Eastern Conference team currently leads the league with 30 power play goals?
The options again.
Options are the Ottawa Senators, the New Jersey Devils, or the Carolina Hurricanes.
I'll go with the Hurricanes. Final answer.
Question number 3. Kelly Chase played for 3 teams in his NHL career: the Blues, 2 games with the Maple Leafs, and 111 games with which other team?
That would be the Hartford Whalers. Final answer.
Question number 4. What number did Cam Jansen wear with the St. Louis Blues?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that? It broke up.
What number did Cam Jansen wear with the St. Louis Blues?
I believe he was number 25. And you know what? Shooter's got to shoot. So let's just go 25. Final answer.
All right. Let's get Anthony back in. Tony Hockey.
Tom, how you feel?
I feel okay. I may have left some out there, but we'll see.
Do you just go by Tom? Do you go by Tommy, Thomas? Because we can call you Tommy Hockey if that's fitting.
Tom's just fine.
All right, Anthony is back in, putting on his headphones.
How'd we do?
We did fine. How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
Silent there.
Pack a lunch.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't think we told you to pack a lunch yesterday.
Nathan told him.
Yeah, Nathan did.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did.
That's probably why you lost.
That's probably why you lost.
That's probably the exact reason why I lost, yeah.
All right. Category is hockey.
Yes.
All right. You ready?
If I had hockey yesterday, oh boy.
What did you have yesterday?
Football.
Mm-hmm. Oh, shoot.
But it was about half-times and stuff.
If you would have had hockey yesterday, I think the questions would have been the same. So we'll see how you do today.
This is true. You're a very wise man, Marshall.
Yeah.
Questions today would have been the questions yesterday, so yeah.
Got it.
There you go. All right. Which team currently leads the NHL with 7 losses in overtime/shootouts?
That's a great question.
Okay.
I'll have the options, please.
Is it the New York Islanders,
Maybe.
the Nashville Predators, or the Chicago Blackhawks?
The Predators stink this year. The Blackhawks have stunk. Well, you said losses, right? Overtime losses? Yes, overtime losses.
Yep, 7 losses in overtime or shootout.
Blackhawks don't play in many close games. And like I said, I think the Predators have stunk this year. Process of elimination, I'm going to go Islanders. Final answer.
Question number 2. Which Eastern Conference team currently leads the league with 30 power play goals?
Could be the Hurricanes. They've been great. Rangers have struggled of late. Devils have been really good. Panthers are in that mix. Why don't we narrow this list down, please?
Your options are the Ottawa Senators, the New Jersey Devils, or the Carolina Hurricanes.
I don't think it's the Senators. I mentioned the Devils and the Canes. I mean, Hurricanes have been great. I got to go Hurricanes. Hurricanes, final answer.
I figured you'd go with that team.
Question number 3. Kelly Chase played for 3 teams in his NHL career. The Blues, 2 games with the Maple Leafs, and 111 games with which other team?
The Hartford Whalers, final answer.
Question number 4. What number did Cam Janssen wear with the St. Louis Blues?
I don't know. I want to say it was like 5 or something. I'll take the options.
Your options are 25, 45, or 55.
You know what I'm going to do? I just looked at the snake pit and they got the answer. So I'm gonna tank this one. I'm gonna say 45 because I didn't know it. 45, final answer.
What the
snake
heck?
pit? We gotta stop with the
answers. They warn, and you know what? They warn everybody too.
Yeah.
But so I'm gonna throw it. I'm gonna say 45. I know it's not the right answer. So
might be. We don't know. All right, here we go. We'll start there.
I'm irritated.
We'll start there. What number did Cam Janssen wear with the St. Louis Blues? Tom, without the options, said 25.
Oh.
Anthony decided to go with the options, said, I think it's a 5. And the options were 25, 45, and 55. Mm-hmm. Marcy, the correct answer is?
It's 55.
It is 55. You both got that one incorrect.
Well, it worked out in the end.
Let's go to question number 3 on the list. Kelly Chase played for 3 teams in his NHL career. The Blues, 2 games with the Maple Leafs, and 111 games with which other team? Tom, you said the Hartford Whalers. Anthony, you said the Hartford Whalers. The correct answer is?
It is the Hartford Whalers.
But neither of you needed the options. It is 2
nice
to
job,
2.
Tom.
Good job, Anthony.
Question number 3. Which Eastern Conference team leads the league with 30 power play goals this year? Tom, you said the Hurricanes. Anthony, you said, Devils, Hurricanes. Give me the options. Hurricanes. The correct answer is?
It's the New Jersey Devils.
It is the New Jersey Devils.
No.
Still a 2-2 tie. Final question. Which team currently leads the NHL with 7 losses in overtime or shootouts? Tom said the New York Islanders. Anthony, you said the New York Islanders. Well, if it's the New York Islanders, we got a walk-off. If it's not the New York Islanders, we got a walk-off. Correct answer is?
It's the New York Islanders.
Marshy?
Walk it off.
Wow.
All right, so, Tom, here's how this is played out. I'm going to ask you both the question. Anthony is going to write down his answer first, and then you quickly give us your answer. I need your answer as quickly as possible so we know we don't have any time lapses and things like that. All right?
And so the snake pit can't win.
Yeah, the snake pit. Anthony's going to have his head down. He's not even going to look. All right, you ready?
Yes, sir.
How many games did Kelly Chase play as a St. Louis Blue? Wait for Anthony. Don't say anything. Let Anthony write his answer down, then you tell us.
Oh, right.
You're gonna do it, aren't you?
I'm gonna take a couple of different numbers.
Okay. What's your answer, Tom?
I'm making up a number here. 534.
All right, Anthony. Do you care to show your number?
Oh yeah, 369.
369.
So 3,000. I hacked off a couple of zeros, and I went with 69. So 369.
And Tom, your answer was 500.
534.
534.
I thought 500 initially.
Tom.
You have chosen poorly.
Anthony got you. The correct answer was 345.
Oh, 345. All right.
Good job, Tom.
Tom, nice job, man.
I appreciate your integrity, Anthony. And also, shout out to Marshy because I added please to my request to play for the first time, and he chose me.
Hey,
So
that's awesome.
Shout out to you for using some good manners, man. So nice job, Tom. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being great today. We do appreciate you. Thanks for playing.
Thank you.
All right. Tom's a nice guy.
He is.
Surprised he didn't pick me.
I'm very well. He knows what happens.
That's
though.
true.
He's a real nice guy. He wasn't going to line up against you.
He beat the system.
Yeah,
I'm proud of you. You showed integrity.
Well,
you could have been wrong. Both. I mean,
yeah, but you know,
Tom was confident in 25
were
too.
rewarded with the dub.
You were.
And I'm usually thank you. I'm usually terrible in the old.
I thought you were going to way over. I thought you were going to.
I thought 500, but I thought it'd be funny if I, 3,000. That's how I got the 3, and then I had the 69.
So we're getting text messages. I think we were quick to blame the snake pit for throwing the answers, into the chat when. In reality, we could have just turned the TV off.
We could have.
We could, and you know what? I try not to look, but I also know that the snake pit does a great job. Like I've been in here when it's not my turn.
Yeah.
And if somebody does the answers, like they'll
start putting
they're accountable, so they'll But when I looked up and I saw 55, I'm like, look, even if it's not the right answer, I'm not gonna. I mean,
great integrity, Anthony.
Well.
That's why I said
our listeners deserve more.
They do. When they play the game right, when you play the game the right way, things happen well for you.
If you play the game the right way, I'll have integrity.
There you go.
You know? And most of our listeners play with integrity.
About 98% of them.
Yep.
We got a lot of people texting in please now.
They do.
How am I supposed to pick? I can't pick all of them.
You start with the pretty pleases then.
Maybe send me
right here.
Send us some criticisms.
No. Come on. Let's be positive. All right. We're positive that the committee continues to shove Alabama right in our face. So is the college football committee devaluing the conference championships. Those two things seem to work against each other. Because if they're valuing the conference championship, then you don't have Bama in. But if you're also saying like, hey, you know what, even if you lose, you're good, are you devaluing the conference championships? This is kind of an algorithm here that we definitely won't solve. Next on 101 ESPN. So is the committee devaluing the college football conference championships this weekend? Marsh, you had this thought. And I imagine it's because the committee came out and said, well, if you're not playing anymore, then we're going to factor that in heavily.
Yeah.
But you also have Alabama in there as essentially as the last seed, right? So are you saying that if you lose your conference championship, it doesn't matter? Are you saying if you win the conference championship, it doesn't matter? Like, you can't really move any which way.
Yeah, if you're not in it, you're pretty much screwed,
unless you're inside the top 12 already, like Alabama is.
But if
Indiana.
Clemson wins, isn't that huge? Because South Carolina beat Clemson. Now, you can make the argument that Alabama beat South Carolina, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
Which is fair.
Here's why you can't really do the head-to-head thing unless you're talking about an actual, hey, there's one spot left, and we're going to factor in if everybody's, all things considered, everybody's healthy, then you could do the head-to-head. Otherwise, you have a situation where Alabama beat Georgia, Ole Miss beat Georgia, but Georgia also beat Texas. Like, you're running into issues here head-to-head wise. It's like the NFL. We do our stack up every week. And you get to the point where you're like, well, I can no longer consider head-to-head. Because if you did, the Ravens technically would be ahead of the Bills. But we know the Bills are playing much better football than the Ravens. So you can't necessarily only go to head-to-head.
So I think when I'm looking at, again, I can only go off of what I was hearing the other day when I was driving home. I talked about it yesterday. Ward Manuel was talking about the importance that the college football playoffs committee is putting on the championship games.
Right.
So you got Clemson playing SMU. Clemson wins, they're in. They get a seat at the table.
Yeah.
SMU being ranked number 8, I think they're still in. I think both ACC teams are in. One, because you got to have the ACC champion in. But SMU's body of work, with only having 2 losses, that means Alabama, in my opinion, is bumped out. So I think the teams that aren't playing in any championship games this weekend, Ohio State in, Notre Dame in, Tennessee in, Indiana in. Those are the teams that aren't playing for anything, right? Georgia and Texas playing in the SEC, they're both in. Unless Georgia gets beat by 30 and their quarterback is hurt and they do to them what they did to Florida State last year.
Yeah, we got to leave that. We got to leave the unknown out there.
That's the only way, in my opinion. Penn State, Oregon, a Big Ten championship, both in. And so now you're looking at, well, who else is left out there? You got the Big 12 championship game, Arizona State and Iowa State. One of those two are in.
Yes.
Whoever wins.
And the loser's out.
And the loser is out.
That one's easy.
That's easy. So what it boils down to for me, Alabama is in unless Clemson wins. If Clemson wins the ACC championship game, in my opinion, Alabama would be the first team out. Miami will be the second team out. Miami, Ole Miss, South Carolina have no chance at all of making it to the playoffs. That has been said. It is what it is. You know, when you had your chance, you had 12 games this season. You win more, you're probably in. Ole Miss lost 3. South Carolina lost 3. Miami lost 2 of their last 3 to teams that you probably shouldn't lose to.
Yeah.
So I know people are upset. Oh, how's Alabama ahead of Miami? Miami has some really bad losses. Syracuse being the most fresh on the committee's mind. Now, if Alabama lost to Oklahoma this week instead of drubbing and beating the heck out of Auburn, you might be looking at that and saying that was a bad loss as well.
Right.
But I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with Alabama being there. Ole Miss, no, they haven't. I didn't think that they had done enough. South Carolina, no. But Miami probably has the biggest argument to be in front of Alabama. But if Clemson wins, it doesn't matter. I don't think either one of them are in.
It's been a fun but a weaving season. So correct me. Did Alabama play Ole Miss this year? I don't think they did. Right?
I don't think so.
Okay. Because I actually think there's an argument to be made that Ole Miss should be ahead of Alabama. Like if you look at the losses, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, and Oklahoma, and then you go to Ole Miss. Ole Miss losses were to
Kentucky, LSU, and Florida.
Okay, maybe not.
Like you don't lose that
Maybe
Florida game, you're good.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't have lost to Florida. They just come off of a huge win at home versus Georgia, the number 3 team in the country. You beat, and you were down
and
to
Alabama
start that
beat
game.
Georgia too. So like, okay.
So you were down to start that game against Georgia. You were able to finish that game in the right way, winning 28-10, and then you have a stinker the following week in the Swamp in Gainesville against Florida. Like you had your opportunity. So I don't. For me, the teams that are complaining, like I'm an Illinois guy.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a complaint because we lost to Minnesota.
Right.
If we only had 2 losses to Penn State and to Oregon, both on the road, Illinois would be in the top 12. And it wouldn't be any question about it because we would have lost and we would have beaten every team in front of us, and the 2 teams we would have lost to are playing in the Big Ten championship game.
Right.
But we lost to Minnesota. You no longer have a claim to have a seat at the table.
Yeah.
Mizzou fans, you don't have a claim to have a seat at the table. Alabama really doesn't either, but they're the best of the worst. They're sitting at 12-13. So
yeah, I feel you. I'm a Central Michigan guy, and we lost to Florida International, Illinois, Ohio, Eastern Michigan, Miami of Ohio, Bowling Green, Toledo, and Northern Illinois. Although if you look at it, Illinois did beat Kansas. Northern Illinois did beat Notre Dame. Miami of Ohio and Ohio are playing in the MAC championship, and those are most of our losses. So I think if you look at it, you should consider CMU.
So now that the college football playoff committee is sort of saying that these conference championship games essentially don't matter in a sense.
Well, they should say okay though.
Like, does that set things up for the future? Like, you have to keep that same energy?
I think I don't think they should be saying that the championships don't matter. I think you're setting a bad precedent then. I think you're almost playing into like what Lane Kiffin was saying. He's like, we don't want to play in these conference championship games. I don't want that at all. I think you should. I think these games should matter. I really do. They definitely matter from a seeding standpoint. So I think they should matter. Here's the bottom line. Here's my official take on this. Alabama shouldn't be in. Assuming that Clemson and SMU it's a tight game. If Clemson wins, let's say they win 24-20, okay? SMU, I'm with you. SMU should be in. Their losses would be to BYU and to Clemson. Their wins would be against a ranked Louisville team, a ranked Pitt team, and then everybody else.
Right.
So, to me, I agree. That doesn't mean, though, that I'll be surprised if Alabama gets in if SMU loses.
I would.
So if Clemson loses, Clemson's out and Alabama's in.
out and Alabama's in. Okay. But if Clemson wins, I'd be surprised if Alabama's in because I heard him say how much value they are putting on teams that are playing in their championship games. Alabama is not one of those teams.
Right.
They're out and they have 3 losses.
What if SMU just gets smoked though?
Then you might have a conversation.
Yeah.
But they still are a 2-loss team in comparison, and one of those losses was in the championship game, which Alabama didn't play in.
Yeah, they didn't play the extra game.
So I think they're still good.
Are you rooting for Clemson?
Yes, of course. The hell?
You don't like Alabama.
Who said that?
I did, because I don't like Alabama.
I don't like
Georgia either. I don't like Ohio State. I don't like Michigan.
But let me ask you this, okay? From a pure entertainment standpoint, okay, you as a college football fan and you knowing that there's a little bit of drama if Alabama's in.
Is it?
Would you rather see Clemson and SMU or one of those teams in Bama? From a college, I'm not talking about like a moral situation or a resume standpoint. I'm just asking you from an entertainment standpoint.
Anthony,
if I could offer you Clemson and SMU or one of those in Alabama, what are you taking?
Which Alabama team is showing up? Because the Alabama team that showed up at Oklahoma.
You're viewing this, I know, but you're viewing this from only Alabama's standpoint. I'm asking you as a college football fan who has also watched Clemson crap themselves too.
I'd rather Clemson. They got less. They would have less losses.
No. I'm just.
I know.
I'm asking you not to do the. I'm asking you from an entertainment standpoint.
Brain off. Alabama. The only
You watch
entertaining.
Clemson too, though.
The
Like,
only
Clemson's
entertaining
It's not like
game-
we're talking about, Joe Burrow's LSU team. I'm talking about Clemson, who has not been great.
The entertaining game that I watched was Alabama and Georgia. And Alabama was beating the hell out of them until they decided,
sure,
let's let them back into the game.
I have your answer.
Yeah, it's Clemson
and Bama.
Okay, but
and SMU.
Let's
pony up.
Tony Dorsett.
But isn't the entertainment value within the game itself? I don't want to watch a 16-13 SEC game. Now, that wasn't the score when these two teams played earlier in the year. Right. However, I just watched Monday Night Football, Browns and Broncos, and found myself glued to the couch.
Right.
Miami, who isn't that good. I mean, they're good, but they're not that good. Not good enough to be in the top 12. They had many entertaining games this year.
But Miami is out. So Clemson, and I'm just asking you, Clemson and SMU. You can either have Clemson and SMU or one of those teams in Bama. From an entertainment standpoint, it's got to be Bama and one of those teams. If you're being honest.
What about what's
why? Entertaining about them? Their name, their past.
Okay,
because this is not the same.
What's entertaining about Clemson? I can make the same argument.
Yeah, well,
Deshaun Watson's Clemson Tigers are not walking through that door.
That team was pretty
This is a team in Clemson that just lost to South Carolina, albeit an improving South Carolina team. But have you been blown away by Clemson? This season?
Nah, maybe not.
You want to watch that Georgia game again? 34-3?
I don't want to watch it.
That was early in the season.
You want Georgia-Bama again? Or you want Clemson-Georgia?
Honestly, here's my real take. I hope the SEC stinks in this playoff because I'm sick and tired of everyone throwing, giving them, making them out to be like something bigger. And they are. Like, they have been. But this year they have not been. And your best team right now is from the Big 12.
Hey, I understand. But just so we're all clear, you guys, and I'm talking to you two, you're both like making this argument and willing to die on the Clemson hill. That's all I'm saying.
Anthony, that's
a little perspective.
It's a pretty big hill, and it's a pretty important hill.
They run down that hill.
They run
down that hill every game,
time.
Anthony.
It is a pretty impressive
exciting.
hill.
It's a pretty
to watch
cool
them
hill.
run down that hill. I don't know what your problem is with Clemson right now.
I've watched Clemson.
Anthony, I would rather have SMU in over Bama.
Okay.
For sure. If they lose, I would. I wasn't alive when they were a good football team.
But it's either SMU and Bama or SMU and Clemson.
SMU and Clemson. Done.
I don't think you believe that. I think your SEC hate is just clouding.
No, I don't hate them.
This whole judgment. This whole
No, I
conversation.
totally do.
Why would I?
I totally do. I grew up a Big 12 guy. I'll be rooting for Texas.
Or in the SEC.
I think
We're in the SEC.
But you walk in, you kick open the door, you say, hey, I'm here. I'm going to take over your conference.
We have to
take over your trap.
We have to do the oh, don't you dare. I was in a good mood. Don't you dare. We have to do the whole thing where we attach ourselves to a team. I don't care who it is. You could pick anybody in the top 12. But that's going to be fun. If the arguments are as good as what we're doing now, and I will pick an SEC team just to piss you two off.
Well, yeah, it's going to be. This is what's going to happen. It's going to be Alabama and Georgia in the national championship, and it's going to be the same damn thing every damn year.
Yeah,
Alabama's not playing for a national championship.
No, I'm sure they'll find a way.
That's madness.
Right. This has been fun. It's not often I get to play the blank disturber.
Yeah.
The antagonist.
That was fun.
Yeah. All right.
Stirring it up.
Jamie was right. We're way off clock.
Yeah, we are.
We need him back.
We'll do one question of our Sports Six Pack next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Blues take on the Calgary Flames tonight. Pregame starts at 7. Puck drop is at 8. We talked earlier today with Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues, right here on the Blues Radio Network. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Schaefer Door Company 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so get your questions in to the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Suffering from ED or PE? Your first treatment is free at ParamountMen'sMedical.com.
All right, time for the Sports Six-Pack. At least one question. Then we'll probably have to carry over, let's be honest. All right, Marsh, go. Fire away.
I had to get my coffee out of my way.
Question number 1.
I want to knock that over.
Do not.
Okay, so we're getting some college football questions, so we might as well just continue this conversation. From the 314, won't it be better if NCAA football got rid of conferences?
Yes.
Oh,
absolutely.
100%.
No question. Yep.
Let everybody play against everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Do it. Do it now. I guess you can't do it now, but
yeah, you can't do it now.
Yeah, sure. Get the best.
I don't know how that would work.
You know what I would like more than that, though? Well, maybe not more than that, but as much. I hate preseason rankings. I hate them. I think they should go away. I think no team should be ranked because it does have an impact on the entire season. If you start higher, you're viewed as a better team. Even if you win by 7 versus a team, you're not going to fall that much farther than a team that lose. I just hate the preseason rankings. Let's see what a team actually looks like. You can have an idea, but let's play a game. And let's see if that team is really the number 10 team in the country.
Like Florida State?
What are we talking about here? You lose to Georgia Tech to start the season. They were in, where were they? Ireland? Dublin? Mm-hmm. Were they in Dublin, Ireland? They were somewhere.
They were in Ireland.
Was that the game in Ireland?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. You know what? I believe you.
Yeah, well, thanks. When you say it with confidence, Anthony, people tend to believe what you're saying.
No, you guys are probably right.
No, when you just say it confidently and people just, okay, cool.
I think I remember them being in Dublin because a few years ago, Nebraska was also in Dublin, and they were supposed to be a decent team, and they also lost.
Yes, you're right. They were in someplace.
No, you know what? It was because Sheamus, who is...
Sheamus
from the WWE went and was talking with Georgia Tech because he's from Ireland.
He inspired that victory.
So you got they're number 10 in the country, and then they lose to an unranked Georgia Tech team.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have them ranked week 1 or week 2, they don't. You're not wasting your time.
Yeah.
Michigan, same thing. Like Michigan was not a good football team. They started off ranked to start the season. I just don't think the preseason. I think the preseason rankings puts teams at an advantage that probably don't deserve to be at an advantage.
So when would you start the rankings, though? Would you wait till when the college football playoff does it, or would you do it week 1?
I would do it week 1, but I would because
and keep it AP.
I would, yeah.
Well, I wouldn't do it week 1. I would let it play out a little bit.
I would let the first.
What's the difference between one game and?
Because I think just in my when you are ranked, it takes longer for you to fall and get out of the way.
No, I'm with you on that.
Which means it takes longer for teams to get into where they need to go.
All good. I completely agree with you on that. I think the rankings skew a lot of things. It doesn't just skew the committee's judgment, it skews our judgment.
Right.
It's like, well, they were ranked.
They were ranked number
But I wouldn't.
6 in the country.
Where I push back on, I wouldn't do it after the first week. I would wait like a month because what is one win over the Citadel going to really show us about a certain team?
Well, so I say that because let's look at some of the teams that are ranked preseason rankings that are no longer ranked right now. Michigan, Florida State, Utah, Oklahoma was ranked 16, Kansas State 18, Arizona, Kansas, who stunk until the last three of their four last games.
Don't take away your
USC,
one of your biggest wins, huh, kid?
I'm just saying they did. They weren't good. I said it when I was watching.
All right.
North Carolina State and Iowa.
Okay.
That's how many teams was that? 10?
Yeah. Carey, we agree.
It's ridiculous.
Could you have a rankings instead of doing it every week? Do it every month. So you have it in heading into October and then heading into November.
Yeah.
And then heading into December. And then you go week by week.
That's not a bad idea.
Well,
It cuts down on the drama.
You can hire me. I'll be on the committee.
I know. They'll call you, I'm sure.
Then once you get to November, every week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nah. I mean, we're just chock full of good ideas.
Yeah, we certainly
Somebody
are.
call us.
All right. We're going to stop right there, okay? We got to get back on clock. You heard me. I said clock. Don't forget, you can go down to Verizon in Creve Coeur this weekend. Blues fans, enter the Verizon Discover NHL Winter Classic sweepstakes. It's your chance to see the St. Louis Blues, your St. Louis Blues, take on the Chicago Blackhawks and a new coach. They just fired theirs. On New Year's Eve in the Discover NHL Winter Classic in Chicago, one winner will receive 4 tickets to the game plus a $3,000 gift card. Visit select St. Louis area Verizon locations or go to 101ESPN.com and enter by December 18th. No purchase necessary to enter. Must be a legal U.S. resident of Missouri or Illinois, age 18 years or older to enter. Get full details now at 101ESPN.com. We will continue our Sports Six Pack next on 101 ESPN. Well, we want to talk refi today with my guy Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Now, Stewie, we all know that you got the bagel loan, but for those that might be unfamiliar, tell us why it is the greatest thing around.
You know, and Anthony, we talk about this on the radio all the time, and I get the same questions over and over again. All right, there's no closing costs. Really? So you're rolling it into the loan, you're adding it here, it's just not out of pocket. Someone's got to do it. If it sounds too good to be true, there's something shady about it. You know what? Call us, folks. There's no closing costs at all. No title fees, no lender fees, no appraisal fees, nothing. We don't add it to the loan. We pay for it for you. We have no commission loan officers. It's the old-time American theory of giving the best service and cutting out the middleman to give you the best deal. That's what it's all about. So at the end of the day, we don't have fancy offices. We're in Overland. At the end of the day, you get the best deal, the best rate, no cost to you. And if rates go down later, You can do it again as long as it doesn't cost you a dime.
Yeah, people, listen to Stewie here, because I've actually made that call to other lenders. Well, before I worked with Stewie, but Stewie was on these airwaves, and he was talking about the bagel loan. I'm like, well, certainly somebody else has got no lender fees and no closing costs and things like that. Literally got laughed at one time. So this is why you got to call Stewie on top of that old school customer service feel. So give him a call on his personal cell phone at 314-324-4440. Again, 314-324-4440. Call him day, night, doesn't matter, weekend, weekday. He'll call you back right away if he's busy helping out somebody else. Just make that phone call or text him, and you can Google the bagel loan if you missed that number. Stewie, keep up the great work, my man.
Have a great night and go Blues.
NMLS number 226715.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six Pack is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Suffering from ED or PE? Your first treatment is free at ParamountMen'sMedical.com.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We're going to continue our Sports Six-Pack right now. If you got a question, you can still send it into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Marsh, go.
Question number 2.
From the 314, do you think the Blues will trade Binnington if they don't make the playoffs, since we have a lot of great goalies in the AHL? Also, you have Joel Hofer.
Yeah, I feel like we've had this conversation before about other goaltenders, too. Like, hey, you got Ville Husso. You're going to move on from Binnington, and Binnington is the one that stays, and rightfully so, and you move on from Husso. I don't know. I don't think that the playoffs necessarily it will be the deciding factor of whether or not you move on from Binnington. The other thing, too, to consider is that what if this is the real Blues team? Would you want to take... Because every coach, every single one, and I heard Jim Montgomery say it to Chris Kerber the other day, but every coach in the National Hockey League is saying something similar. It's a 2-goalie league. Would you want to move on from Binnington and turn the reins over to Hofer and a young guy? I don't think so. How'd that work out when you had Binnington and who's the backup there for a second? The former Islander goaltender. What was his name?
Oh, the guy from Germany.
That did not work out well at all.
I'm blanking on his name.
Either way, I think you stay the course. If Binnington's game starts to dip a little bit, maybe, but I just don't see that happen. I think you're all set here.
What was his name? I will not allow us to move on until we get this guy's name.
Was it Thomas something?
Yeah, Thomas Greiss.
There you go, Thomas Greiss.
Nice, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now we can move on.
Did that work out good for you?
Not for me.
No, okay. No. Or him.
Question number 3.
Remember Chad Johnson?
I do, yeah.
Not the football player
No, the former Buffalo Sabre.
Former Blue.
Right, and rightfully so. You all right, Carey?
I just spilled coffee everywhere.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, here's
all over the break room, or
Yeah, in the break room.
Well, that's good though.
Well, I cleaned it up. That's what took me so long to
there's
get back.
more. You know what though? You did it in the break room though.
Yeah, not in the hallway.
Yeah, the hallway. We got white carpet.
Yeah,
for
that'd be
some
bad.
Dumb reason.
I was trying to put the top on it.
Oh no,
Davis on the fumble.
At least you didn't put your.
How many fumbles did you have in your NFL career?
One.
Nice.
Maybe. I didn't. Well, that's not good, Anthony. I didn't get the ball enough to have any. But we recovered it.
Oh well, there you go. So it wasn't.
I didn't lose
loss.
a fumble. No.
Where was it?
In Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was against the Ravens, I believe.
Somebody punch it out.
Probably getting tackled, going down. But I think I fell right on top of it.
Oh, so you recovered it?
Yeah. So
that doesn't go
Either I
down
recovered
in the
it
stat
or
book.
Somebody on your team.
somebody else correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your knee was down.
Mine was helmet.
That's what I said.
Helmet on ball. Couldn't have been clear. Couldn't have been more clear, Marsh. It's like I didn't have it. It's like it was there.
It was gone.
It was gone in a blink. That's how clean it was.
That's frustrating.
That's real frustrating.
I still think about. I fumbled twice against Hazelwood East, our rival in high school. The year before, I scored the game-winning touchdown, and then my senior year, I put it on the ground twice, and then we had another chance late in that game to go get the ball back and go on a game-winning drive, and then one of my other teammates muffed the punt and they recovered it. It was I was not a good person to be around that day.
So you lost that game?
Yeah.
How many of those did you lose against them?
2-2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
In baseball, we were playing our biggest rival. I was playing third at the time, and where the sun was going down.
Yeah.
So our first baseman didn't know where the ball was hit. So I came up, I fielded it cleanly, and I was about to throw it over, and he wasn't at the bag.
Oh.
He knew it was hit. He had no idea where it was.
He
couldn't see it. So I double clutched and grounded one in, and he couldn't pick it. 2 runs scored. We lost.
Now, whose fault is that?
Coach blamed me. He did, flat out.
I would have just threw it over there. The kid not there.
Right in the chest.
I got to in between innings. My coach was very blunt.
You're going to second.
Because you're going to second base. No.
That was the other coach.
I sat down. He's like, what happened? He was kind of Arizona Diamondback. He's like, what happened? And I didn't want to throw the first baseman on the bus.
Right. You're a good teammate.
So I was like, double clutched. And he's like, why are you double clutching there? He kept going. I go, John wasn't at the back. He goes, I've never seen a first baseman not cover. I go, okay. I'm not going to win this one.
You didn't see this one then, did you, Coach? The hell are you talking about? Anthony, I respect my coaches, but you not going to listen.
Well, it looks like you got one on the old lecture then, because you missed this one.
Seems like you missed this one then, sir. I tell you all the time I kicked a door in because I didn't play.
No.
I was 12 years old.
You're basketball. Yeah.
Coach said, there is no I in team. I kicked the door. I said, well, there's a me. There is a me. Turn the letters around. There's a me. The hell are you talking about? He was like, what the hell is wrong with this kid?
What's wrong with this kid? That's hilarious. Yeah. If I would have thrown it, I probably would have knocked him out. It would have been bad.
You got a glove over there, don't you?
Yeah, he would have never saw it.
He'd have heard it.
Yeah, he would. It would have been bad.
Hey, you got to scoop it.
Yeah, you're right.
You got to scoop that.
You're right. Yep.
You got to stretch out and scoop that
thing. Come on. You were late. Scoop that thing. Anyways. All right. How many we get to? 2? 3?
We got through 2 questions.
Nice job,
in
guys.
2 segments.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I was late getting back in here. I just spilled coffee all over the break room.
Not the best.
Yeah,
not the best.
Hey, there were 2 quality questions.
Yeah. The questions were good.
There you go. It's not about
the questions were good.
It's about the quality, not the quantity.
Very true.
Absolutely.
All right. Cardinals plan on keeping Ryan Helsley? That's at least one reporter suggesting as much. I don't understand that at all. That's next on 101 ESPN. If you've ever been disappointed by going to a dealership because the selection stunk, or maybe the financing wasn't there, they couldn't line it up, or the pricing wasn't great, you got to check out my friends at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. They have over 700 new and used vehicles all in one locations. And here's the best part, too. Now until the end of the month, we're talking about discounted prices on every vehicle in stock. You can look for massive year-end dealer discounts, like up to nearly $12,000 off MSRP on select new Nissan models, all at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. Low financing rates are also available right now, like 0% APR for 60 months on a brand new Nissan Rogue, or available no payments for 60 months on select new Nissans, or no payments for 3 months on select used vehicles. Check them out in Herculaneum, as always, courtesy of Auto Centers Nissan. Our qualified new and used vehicles come with their complimentary lifetime warranty. Plus, all new Nissans come with a 30-day return promise. No one offers this last option, with 3 free oil changes included through their Nissan Maintenance Care Package. It's all available at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. Check them out online at autocentersnissan.com. Rosenthal of The Athletic talked about what he's hearing about the Cardinals and Ryan Helsley. And one of the things that Ken Rosenthal discussed is that Ryan Helsley appears to be the most obvious trade candidate, but teams talking to the Cardinals are under the impression the team will hold Helsley, and President of Baseball Operations John Mozeliak does not dispute that point. Quote, it's something we will always remain open-minded to, but our plans to have him be a part of the organization, Mo told The Athletic on Tuesday. Helsley entering his age 30 season, projected to earn $8.5 million in his final year of arbitration before he's eligible for free agency. Then Rosenthal discusses whether or not the Cardinals might hold him until the middle of the season. Then, though, you're not eligible for qualifying offers. Cardinals, while open to trading third baseman Nolan Arenado, are not engaging in a full teardown. First baseman Wilson Contreras and right-hander Sonny Gray both expressed their desire to stay with the club, and the team evidently wants to keep both products. We got some text messages coming in after I teased this segment, Gary. And I think there is a misconception here that when you and I start talking about, or this show starts talking about trading Ryan Helsley, it's like just giving him up, just giving away.
Not at all.
In fact, I saw somebody from the Snake Pit said, "Oh yeah, that makes sense. Just give away a good player for nothing."
Why would you do that?
Under what circumstance would you give Ryan Helsley? Here's what I'm assuming, guys and gals. Really is good, guys and gals. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming that we're all on the same page that if you trade Ryan Helsley, it is for a package of prospects that's going to help you in the future. I'm talking about a significant prospect package, not just flipping him for nothing. That makes no sense. If there is no market, there is no discussion here, guys. If there's no market for Ryan Helsley, which doesn't make sense, by the way. I think there should be a massive market for him. But if there is no market, there is no discussion. You hang on to him. You see where you're at the deadline. Or maybe even view him as an option to keep. But we're assuming, we're all working under the assumption that you're going to get something significant for a 29-year-old player that is coming off a career year and is also a reliever that you're not going to bring back. So that is why you trade him. And one more thing on this, because we got another text that came in and said, why is it so hard to believe the Cardinals don't want to lose 90 games next year? We're not talking about 1 year, guys. Fans operate in that realm. I'm going to go this year. I want my team to be the best possible team ever. I don't care about following years. That's not how teams operate.
Not supposed to.
The window is at least 3 years, if not 3 to 5. So now that I hope that we're on the same page in terms of what the discussion is, now we can move forward.
I think we should just keep him then and get rid of him for nothing.
Marsh, that's been the game plan, Marshy, and that hasn't worked out. Just let him walk after a year, huh? For nothing.
No, you would trade him for multiple
players. Or you keep him and you turn him into a starting pitcher.
Oh, no. Okay. No, thank you.
Why would you?
No, thank you.
Okay. Why would you turn the NL City
League? Only ish disturber in this studio.
What is happening?
What you actually said yesterday was either yesterday. My days run together.
No, Anthony. We've been talking about him for the last 3 months.
Is why would you trade him and Nolan Arenado?
Correct. That doesn't.
You
make
would
sense.
Trade them separately to get the most value for both players, 100%. Which is more than likely prospects that can help you in the future. Because what you're doing is getting something in return and opening up a position for younger players that you currently have to be able to play with Nolan Arenado. And if you move on from Ryan Helsley. I don't have a problem with it. People are like this, the notion, as you said, the one text, why do you think they want to lose 90 games? Because they probably are. No matter who the hell the damn closer is, you got to get to the closer, man.
It's not.
He led the league in saves, and you only won 83.
Right, exactly.
He led the league.
Yeah.
More than 50% of the time, he's going out there. He's ending the game for you, and you still didn't make the playoffs. So the notion to believe, well, he can save 65 games, that he's going to have to. How about that? Because you're going to play in a lot of one-run games. So what you do is move on. You thank him. You bid him adieu. You thank him for his service. You've done a great job here. You got to get something in return to make this team better for the future. Because more than likely, you're not going to be here when the roster turns over and we're trying to be in that 3 to 5 year window that you're talking about. That makes the most sense for me.
Guys, he's not 26.
No.
He's not 26 just entering arbitration. He's 29 at the final year of arbitration.
He's in the prime of his career,
I hate to break it to you guys, but like teams view players as assets.
Not people?
Hell no, Marshy. No. They are pieces on a puzzle. They are props to be used as they see fit. And the moment they don't see fit, they see you gone.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
I mean, I get it. I get it. You're a fan. You're like, whoa, why are they giving up the closer? We need him next year.
No, you don't.
Paul says he's not 30. He's 29. I don't.
He's not 30, damn it.
I'm running up. I realize right now I'm running up that Clemson hill, and I just don't have the energy for it. I don't have the energy
for it. You think you're faster than Dabo?
I don't have the energy for it. All right, keep him. Go ahead.
I think he is, actually. I think he is 30. Let me see.
I think he's 29.
I think he's 30.
Either way, he's in the final year of his arbitration. You're in a retool. What am I missing here?
Well, what if the Cardinals are good? You know, we were talking about it yesterday. Hey, what if they are kind of good? And then...
Yeah, he is 30. He'll be 31 next year. He was born in 94.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Who said it?
29, 30.
Whether he's 29 or 30, he's in the final year of his contract. Yeah. He's a closer.
That means I'm 27.
There
he's
you go.
A closer. Right?
Yeah, but what if the
Cardinals... valuable asset.
What if they're good?
Develop another one.
Yeah, well...
See, I said that last year, and again, you all laughed me out of the ENB Granite Studios.
Don't you
all laughed me out of the ENB. You did.
I did.
I said, you said, who's the most overrated player? And I said, well, it would be the closer that you
laugh at you.
Because, well, he's the best player on the team. Exactly.
I didn't like the way you phrased that.
Well, I was explaining that you didn't need him. You should get something for him.
Explained it horribly.
No, I explained it how I'm explaining it now. And here we are 6 months later. Well, get rid of him. We don't need him. No, bleep, Sherlock. Really? You all laughed and you made it one of your questions at the end of the day. Who did Kerry Davis say was the most overrated player?
It was ridiculous.
It wasn't.
Not the most overrated player.
And not in those terms.
Thank you.
For the team and what you needed in that moment. You didn't need a damn closer. You needed players.
You know what, Carey?
I'm sorry. I just go on a tangent sometimes. I'm very defensive, if you don't know.
Can we all agree, though? Like, this is the dumbest thing ever? Why would you keep him? Can we at least agree on that? Like, I know we're not everybody's going to agree because they're only, like, there's fans that are just going to go year by year, and they're only going to look at it in that year. I'm not. Yeah. I love you. I do. Thank you for listening to the show. I'm just going to put you in a corner for now, okay? Because you count, you matter, but not for this conversation. Can we agree this is the dumbest thing?
You don't need him. I mean, no disrespect to him.
You do, but like we're
not right now.
Right.
You don't need a closer for what you have now. You needed a closer when you thought you had Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt in the prime of their career for a playoff push for a team that planned on making a run through the playoffs. You need a closer. You need a guy that you can come in the sixth inning. I'm sorry, in game 7 in the ninth inning, not in the sixth inning. In game 6 in the ninth inning and close it out. And close it out. That's when you need a closer. You don't need him for game 87.
I agree. Gator gets
June.
it. Gator goes trade him now. Gator understands.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. This Cardinal team is going to be not a lot. I don't want to say a lot.
Yeah, say it. Say it.
This Cardinal team is going to be better, I believe. And they're going to get to the ninth inning, and they won't have Ryan Helsley.
No.
And they're going to lose.
If we're going to
They're going to blow 20-plus games like they did 2 years ago.
Was he on the roster then?
Carey?
Yeah, no, he was pitching more than one inning, Carey.
They got the recipe now. And we're going to look back, man, if we only had Ryan Helsley.
Man, if you only had guys that scored more than 3 or 4 runs.
Droid FX gets it too. Trade Helsley now. Okay, so we're kind of on the same page.
Honestly, I don't care what they do.
Willie says, I feel
really
CD and Anthony are arguing each other and making the same point. That does happen from time to time.
Right. We are shouting at each other. Same point. We're on the same
Does
page.
it come off as an argument when your tone of voice raises?
Yeah, absolutely. There was another.
I love you guys.
There was another point I was going to make on this. I forgot. The hell with it. What was it?
I don't know.
Ninth inning, trade him, Helsley, something.
You got plenty of guys in the bullpen.
That'd be fine.
It'll probably come to you in about 5 seconds.
Probably.
As soon as he
after we break.
Yep.
All right, we've got a crucial week ahead of us. Guys, we're still 1 win away.
We got to be better.
We have got to be better. We were up 7-0. Now it's 8-5 against the Rizzuto Show. Come on. Starts tonight.
The cul-de-sac is on the line.
Who's got the huevos rancheros to take the Packers tonight? That's what I want to know. NFL Pick'em Challenge next on 101 ESPN.
Refresh by Bud Light.
Well, you sure know how to pick 'em.
All right, make sure you get your picks in for the Rizzuto Show and Fastlane Pick'em Challenge.
We need
Refresh by Bud Light. Yeah, we got to check to make sure he did get his picks in. You know that fool.
That'd be bad.
Yep. All right, let's start with tonight's game. I teased it. Does anybody have the Huevos Rancheros to take the Packers tonight over the Lions?
No.
Marshy?
No.
I do think they have a chance. I think if Detroit is due, I think what they won, like 8-9 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
They lost week 2 and they've won every game since then.
Yep.
I think they are probably due, especially with all of the injuries, but it's a simple format for me if you're the Detroit Lions. Give your best players the football and get out of the way. Jahmyr Gibbs, and I said this last week, it's so frustrating watching how they utilize him. He had 9 carries for 87 yards. David Montgomery had 21 carries for 88 yards. And I'm not a mathematician. One guy's getting more carries with less touches. More yards with less touches. Give him the ball. Get your playmakers the ball early and often.
That seems to make sense.
Too much sense.
By the way, BK did not do his picks.
BK!
So we got to get on Kylie and going to check Jamie's here. Guys, this is unacceptable.
What are we doing?
We're trying to win.
We just took
Jamie
a
didn't
sack.
do his either.
Oh,
in
my
field
God.
goal range.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
this is
We just actually didn't even take a timeout.
I don't like
with
this at
31
all.
seconds left.
Yeah,
We're letting the damn clock run
this
out
is
like
some
this.
real Bears crap.
We were
I'm
up
seeing right now.
30-0. 33-0.
Yeah.
And we blew it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not yet, but.
What are we doing? Are you texting him?
I'm texting him.
All right. Give him now. Don't give him the polite text. Hey, get your picks in. Get your fast lane picks in, or you're gonna fast lane ruin this for us.
Hey, BK and Jamie. Get your picks in now, you steaming piles of fast lane crap.
There you go.
Sent. All right, got it. All right, I am picking the Packers tonight. I am. I picked them.
Are you?
Yep.
Good for you.
Locked and loaded.
Good for you.
Lions are banged up.
Lions by 30.
Ouch. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take the Packers tonight. I think the Lions are prime for a letdown here. It's not even a letdown. It's just they're so incredibly banged up. Their defensive line is basically out. Taylor Decker, their offensive tackle, out again. Packers missing some guys, like Jair Alexander won't play. But I think Jordan Love has himself a game tonight. That Lions secondary can be had. I know they've done a really good job, don't get me wrong. But they went in there, they being Green Bay, went in there on Thanksgiving Day last year with their season on the line, and Love had himself a game. I'm going to go back to it.
I do think that the Packers have a chance. And I really, honestly, I don't think this guy gets nearly enough credit, but I really like Matt LaFleur.
Yeah.
Like, I think offensively, he has done a fantastic job. What is this, like 6 years? Like, he's done a really good job his entire career there, his tenure. He had a lot of success to start it off. Kind of took a few steps back the last couple of years, but I think he's a great coach. The Packers need to win because they can put themselves in a position to possibly win the division.
Yeah.
Like, that division is not closed out yet. Those 3 teams are so close, the Vikings, the Packers, and the Lions, all within 1 or 2 games of each other. There's a chance, but I think the Lions just have more firepower, and I think they're more explosive. Quarterback situation, I like both of them. I mean, I might take Jordan Love over Jared Goff, even though Jared Goff has been playing extremely well. But I think the Lions just have too much firepower, despite the injuries that they're dealing with.
I agree with everything you just said, but tonight.
Okay.
Zeus says we need his bet the board pick, too. We got that one.
We did get that one.
He did send us that one, so you're all set there.
We
all
can
right, let's
let you
continue.
pick again, Zeus.
What's that?
We can let Zeus pick again.
No. Jamie's on it today.
He's done a good job.
All right, guys. Some of the other closer games. as we move forward here. Steelers and Browns.
Come on.
No reason to take the Browns, right?
Good choice.
Steelers going to steal all over them.
Still a victory.
What about Seahawks Cardinals?
I went with the Seahawks.
I went with the Cardinals.
I went with the Seahawks. I can't trust the Cardinals.
I can't trust the Seahawks.
I think last week
they should have lost to the Jets.
Put a nail in the coffin.
Jet all over themselves last week. Last week did for you, Cardinals?
That's a demoralizing loss, in my opinion. Now, I said the same
division's
thing.
Still wide open.
Yeah, but
nobody wants to win it. Somebody has to, per NFL rules, whatever.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to. So, and it is a divisional game. So
are we ruling out that the 49ers could still?
Yeah, they're done.
Okay.
Yeah, they're done. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey, done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
OB.
Yeah, I got the Cardinals in this one. The Seahawks special teams last week were an absolute disaster. And again, if they're not playing the Jets, I think they get blown out last week. Cardinals went to Seattle a couple of weeks ago, and I believe that was a close game that came down to the wire, if I'm remembering that game correctly. Now Seattle's going to go there. Arizona's been a tough team at home. I like the Cardinals this week.
The Cardinals should have won last week.
Against the Vikings,
up.
yeah.
They blew that game. Like, the Cardinals have every opportunity to take this division and run away with it. And every week they say, not this week.
Yep.
We'll wait another one. We don't have to. What do we need to play hard for? What do we need to finish a game for? Like, they are one of the most frustrating teams that I've watched this year. Because for me, defensively, they were getting after the Vikings. And then all of a sudden they said, don't worry about it. We don't need to finish the game. Like, why?
Yeah.
It's frustrating. So they're at home, but I'm still going to take Seattle in that game. Because Seattle at least feels like they want to win the division. They may not be good, or they'd probably be first round, bounced out to the first round. But to me, it feels like they want to win the division, whereas it feels like the Cardinals do everything they can up until the point where it's time to win those games and say, don't worry about it.
That's a young team. And that's what you get out of a young team. That's what you get out of an average team. It's the conversation we've often had with the Cardinals. Like last year, they're an average team. They're gonna hang right around that 500 mark. Last one, because I want to get your thought on this one. Chargers Chiefs. Did you pull the trigger with the Chargers?
I did.
Did you?
I did.
Okay. I was going to give you some crap if you didn't.
No, I did. I think so. I was thinking about this earlier too. As bad and as poorly as the Kansas City Chiefs have played, they probably lose this weekend, but they probably still make it to the Super Bowl. And they probably find it's ridiculous.
You've been thinking about that?
I've thought about it today.
Carey, I've been saying that for months.
Yeah, I don't always listen.
What the hell?
Yeah, I don't listen all the time.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
But I think they lose this game. I think Jim Harbaugh finds a way. Because they beat them earlier this year, the Chiefs did, but it wasn't convincing. I think they won. Did they win by 10 points? But the Chargers were in the game pretty much the entire game.
You just basically listed off every Chief game this year.
Well, pretty much. You never. They won by 7. So yeah,
that was. I remember that.
That
game.
was the Rasheed Rice. That's when he got hurt.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Chargers hung around, but they never got control of the game.
Yeah.
And that's really what the Chiefs do well.
Yeah.
Their opponents cannot take hold of the game because you need to play all 3 phases. Yeah. You have to play all 3 phases.
You got to finish the game because they're not going. The thing I've noticed about the Chiefs, and this is the opposite of poor teams. We were just talking about the Cardinals and how they find a way to say, forget it at the end. The Chiefs are a good team. They are well coached. They have championship pedigree. And so when you're playing a team like that, they know if I just keep doing what I'm doing, it may not be great, it may not be exciting, it may not be stellar, but eventually you're going to mess up.
Yep.
Because the pressure is always on you. Definitely. We're champs. We can never win another game, and I got championships to say, well, whatever. Like there's a level of pressure that is taken off of you when you've already won. And that's where the Chiefs are. They don't have as much pressure as the teams that are facing them.
Yeah.
And you see it week in and week out. The other team finds a way to crumble. They find a way to lose because the amount of pressure when we got to win.
Yeah.
We got to beat the Chiefs. They're like, whatever. Well, it's cool.
1, welcome to the dark side.
Nah, I'm not coming up with that.
2, who else does that sound like?
Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls in the 90s.
You're right. The Patriots in the 2000s. Do you remember when, like, the Patriots were, like, eking out games constantly?
You got to beat them.
It's total art of war. When your opponent is making mistakes, don't stop them. That was Belichick's whole thing. And you're right. And it's a point I've made, too. The Chiefs will let you make the mistake, and then they will capitalize.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Doesn't mean that they're not good.
Just means
you don't have to blow out every team.
They're very consistent.
They're very consistent. They find a way.
Game after game, find a way.
They're the reverse of what you just talked about with the Cardinals.
Yes.
Games in the balance, they don't find a way. Well, that's often the difference between good and great and average and bad.
I agree.
There's not a lot separating in the NFL. I mean, maybe right now because we're deeper into the season, but the talent level, there's not a wide gap. It comes down to consistency, who you have at quarterback and who you have at head coach.
Yep.
All right. Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We've got the biggest question of the day next.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues take on the Calgary Flames tonight, looking to stay in the win column as they defeated the Winnipeg Jets the other night, 4-1. Pregame starts at 7. Puck drop is at 8. Before we get to pregame, we'll have a Blues Instant Replay show from 6 to 7, so make sure you tune into that. If you missed anything from today's show, including our interview with Chris Kerber, go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Schaefer Door Company 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to that podcast page, and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have our biggest question of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh. This Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga
Heating and Cooling,
an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
All right, time for the biggest question of the day here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Kerry Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter. Marshy, what do you got for biggest question of the day?
All right, so we actually talked about this the other day, but this is from the 636. How has Jim Montgomery's first week as coach looked so far, and do you think it will pay off for to the playoffs for the Blues? One, obviously, we did discuss that a couple days ago, but when it comes to Jim Montgomery and what this team looks like, do you think that this road trip in particular, I know we always, this is the biggest game of the year. These are going to be the biggest games of the year. But ultimately, could this shape what this team is going to look like down the stretch? You go on a long road trip, Carey, playing in the NFL, you go on road trips. Like, that's a time for team building and really figuring out who you are as a team. And this is a tough road trip. Like, the Western Canadian road trip is one of the toughest that a team is going to take, outside of a team that's already in the West. But do you think that this particular road trip will decide sort of the fate, or at least the direction of the Blues heading into the rest of the regular season?
I wouldn't go that far, but I do think that each and every game becomes an opportunity for this current group under Montgomery to build. And I think that's what we've seen thus far. If you look at the way that the Blues have played since Jim Montgomery has taken over, you can't tell me that it's the same group that when Drew Bannister was in charge was playing. They have been a completely different unit. In fact, they're 3-0-1 under Jim Montgomery. Now, that's only a 4-game sample size. It's since November 25th. But that's third overall in terms of point percentage. This team has a different feel to it overall. They seemingly, and I know the Philadelphia game was a little different, but doesn't it just seem like cleaner hockey?
I was going to say that, yeah. And I go
fewer
back
mistakes.
Yeah. I go back to what we were talking about a couple of days ago, before, I forget who they played a couple of days ago, the Jets game, and how Kerb said it, Jamie said it, the morning skate, they were talking about Montgomery saying, hey, no, stop. This is not good enough. The passes you're making aren't good. It's more detail-oriented as guys getting after it. Again, it feels more of a unit, and maybe it is just the personality of the head coach now. We were listening to Jamie talking about how he was going back to the back of the plane when they were headed to Calgary and showing them different clips, and some serious and some funny, and that just gets guys engaged. When you know your head coach has your back and is on your side and is there's one thing, like, you can do and say anything to a player when they know you care about them. Like, you can get on them, you can cuss, fuss, go after them as hard as you want to when they know when I do something right, you're going to love me just as hard. You're going to show me the love. You're going to appreciate my hard work, my effort, just as much as you're going to be on my butt when I'm not playing well. And I think you're seeing that, and that does make a difference. And I don't know if Bannister was that. I didn't hear those stories, though. So I can't assume, but I have heard those stories about Jim Montgomery, and that makes a difference for a player. You'll play harder for a guy that you know is going to give you everything he got.
Yeah.
As opposed to a guy you're like, okay.
Right.
So I think you're seeing that version of the Blues right now.
Yeah, and you don't want to disappoint a guy like that, right? Like Jamie was telling us the other day, they're on the airplane and, he's coming back. He's showing them clips that aren't that great, but then he comes back and gives them something funny and they all start laughing and they're all having a good time. And, a lot of head coaches, they can be hard on players and that's really all it is. Like there's no personal relationship.
No in between.
There's no in between. I mean, you could have some coaches that are, hard on you and they also want to know, like, what did your family do this summer?
Sure,
like show us pictures and stuff like that. But
I don't know that was the same.
That was different.
A little bit different. I feel a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, but you were making good points nonetheless.
For sure.
Coach, what is this?
But I think, it doesn't matter if it's your boss, if it's your best friend, if it's your coach, like whoever it is. If you have that relationship, you don't want to disappoint that person based on your performance or, whatever it may be in the circumstance. And I feel like that is what this is. When you talk about details and it looks crisp, it looks clean, there are turnovers still. Like, let's not act like they're the 1980, the 1960 to 1980 Russian team.
My God, what a change, though. What a
they
turnaround.
did kind of look like them the other, when they're just moving the puck around. Anyways, but the effort, though, it looks different. The effort looks completely different.
Yep, I'm with you guys. Absolutely. All right, it's Fast Line on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Kerry Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Blues and Flames pregame at 7 o'clock right here on 101 ESPN. Of course, we'll cover the game wall to wall. Does it want to be wall to wall?
Windows to the wall?
Wall to wall coverage.
Puck drop to
wall to wall.
Bring out the Zamboni.
Yeah, end wall to end wall.
Yeah,
sure.
Rink wide.
Yeah, you know what? It's fine.
Good job, Anthony.
Join the morning after crew at the all-new Hot Shots on Lindbergh for the TMA Christmas party on Thursday, December 12th from 7 to 9 p.m., featuring Santa Doug giving out presents every 10 minutes, like Blues tickets, signed Blues pucks, concert tickets, including Post Malone and Jelly Roll, Kendrick Lamar, and SZA. You guys big SZA fans?
That's SZA. SZA.
I almost went. I don't think this is SCA. That's SZA?
SZA. Yeah.
He, she, they do a great job.
She does an outstanding
From the area,
job.
too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Jack White. I got that one right. Carey, Disturbed.
Oh, yeah. What song is that I was singing? Yeah.
You said
That's
Limp.
it. Limp Biscuit.
Yep. Lincoln Park and more. SZA, you say.
SZA.
Yeah, SZA. I got it now. Hot Shots will also have it. SC, I couldn't have done it more white. SZA. I couldn't have said that more white if I tried. Hot Shots will also have a TMA holiday theme menu with shot and drink specials throughout the night. Also, please bring a new unwrapped toy for Annie's Hope. Come celebrate the holidays with TMA at the brand new Hot Shots on Lindbergh on December 12th, starting at 7 p.m.
It's actually Timma.
Yeah, Timma. TMA. Timma.
Yeah.
Timma.
Yeah.
I think we got a new...
Timma with Tim McKernan.
We got a new star.
Oh, yeah. SZA.
I was looking for another one.
Anthony's biceps from the snake pit. I'll take it. Anthony isn't going to the concert. No, it's not true.
Yeah.
A big SZA fan.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Bet the board is next. 3 stars of the day. And, of course, criticisms and compliments. That's all coming at you next. Hey, when it comes to the Missouri Athletic Club, I love heading down there each and every day, whether it's to work out or, meet somebody for lunch, take the family down for various events at the Missouri Athletic Club. Man, they've got me covered. The downtown location, perfect for some of the bigger events. They got breakfast with Santa at both spots, but boy, when they decorate for the holidays at the Missouri Athletic Club. Great picture opportunities and things like that. But it's a huge club that's got the various different athletic clubs throughout the seasons and years, and whether I'm involving it with the kids or my wife is getting involved with something. Missouri Athletic Club, again, they've always got something covered for our family. That's the MAC. Miss anything from today's podcast? Nope. If you miss anything from today's show,
man, look at the podcast.
Did I tell you Lincoln's been getting up like every hour? I'm running on fumes, guys.
Well,
no excuses. Play like a champion. Take 3. If If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN Schaefer Door Company mobile app. Podcast all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Time to bet the board. March, what we got for the latest standings?
All right. Jamie, Carey, and myself are all tied at 2. Anthony, you are on the board with 1 thanks to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yes. They were losing all game, too. That was not pretty. Third period, that's when it mattered.
So were the L.A. Kings.
Yeah.
They scored 3 in a row.
Lucky.
Crazy.
Yeah. All right. Jamie's pick, by the way, he did text us. He wants the Winnipeg Jets on the money line. And the Winnipeg Jets, if I'm looking, they're in Buffalo to take on the Buffaloes. Winnipeg Jets minus 136. That is Jamie's selection. Now it's up to you guys. Who goes next?
You, Marsh, me. You. As long as you don't take what I got. Go ahead, Marsh.
I'm going to take Jahmyr Gibbs over 2.5 receptions at minus 130.
Damn it. I was going to be very upset.
You also like Gibbs.
Give me Jahmyr Gibbs plus 60 yards, minus 150.
Interesting. Well,
rushing yards, that is.
Give me those Green Bay Packers plus 3.5.
You're all in on this.
I'm all in.
Shame on you.
Shame.
No, actually, stay with it. It's cool.
You think you're going to get one back on me?
I need to.
I'm going to roll that dice.
Roll
I'm up 3, but I'm still throwing in the fourth quarter.
Well,
it's time to bury you.
Yeah. Don't throw a turnover.
Carey and I are viciously competitive with each other. Last year, I was clawing back. I don't remember how many I finished out, but I was pissed. And I vowed to never lose to Carey again. And now here we are, and Carey's basically doing the same thing.
I am bothered.
Yeah. All right, Marsh, what do we got for criticisms and compliments?
All right, going back to your SZA comment from the 314, that was awesome. Love this show.
Somebody from the Snake Pit, I'm sorry, I missed the name. But it was like, Anthony, I would have read it the same way. I just didn't do it on air.
The 314 says, actually listening to Anthony say SZA, SCA instead of the correct pronunciation, which is SZA, reminds me of the Key and Peele skit with the substitute teacher reading the kids' names.
Balake! Balake, is that you?
Hey, Ron! Blake? That's a great skit. Man. I love the kid's face, too. He just doesn't say anything. He goes, here. Oh, you're here now? Balake.
The 314 says, you guys are funny when you give each other crap. Love when Marshy comes in with the from out of nowhere sarcastic shots.
We have a good time.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you, by the way.
Another 314 says, after a long day of work, you guys make me smile. I wish I was sitting in the same garage with you, having a drink and firing barbs at each other. I don't know what.
We got to get
barbs.
that. Yeah,
we got to do the. So I was thinking about this too.
You know, fun
jokes.
Shots.
Jokes,
okay. Barbs. Yeah.
Chirps.
I was thinking we should do it in March, since all of our birthdays are in March.
Carey.
I'm good for a good idea.
Every day, pretty much.
Well, 2 days.
You had one.
Yeah, we'll use it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Don't forget, because tomorrow's Freedom Friday.
I won't forget.
Yeah, I'm talking to them, not you. I know you know. Talking to our listeners.
the listeners. Yeah. Oh, you're looking at me.
Should we let them know?
Well, okay, don't forget, tomorrow is Freedom Friday. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah. I don't think I've done a couple of looks into the camera when you guys have, if I said something, you guys keep rolling, I'll kind of look at the camera
what the hell are they talking about?
Other than that, it's kind of weird. All right, Marsh.
Are we ready for the 3 stars?
We are.
All right, our 3rd star of the day goes out to crap sandwiches.
Yeah,
a lot were thrown towards your way, Anthony.
Yeah, it's been a rough day. Me and SZA had a rough day.
Did you throw one at Jamie?
I had to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Made you feel better?
Yeah, damn right it did.
2nd star of the day.
That one got me. I don't know why. Hey, Zoosh's birthday's in March from the Snake Pit.
Come on out to the Fast Lane Live. We got to get it done. Yeah. Fast Lane Live. It got to be in March.
I want to know.
We got to have a Friday night or a Saturday night.
I'm in too.
Wednesday night. I don't care.
I think that's a great idea.
I do too. Second star of the day goes to arguing the same point.
Yes. Nice job, Carey.
Well, it happens from time to time.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're yelling, you don't know that you're saying the same thing. I know, I said that. Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. Apologies.
And of course, late star, but it's got to be number one, goes to SZA.
Yeah.
Better known as SZA.
Hey, you learn something new every day. I'm always telling my daughter Madeline, don't act like you know everything. You're going to prevent yourself from learning.
Well, see, Anthony, we're learning that I know certain bands and certain musical acts. You know certain bands and certain musical acts.
Yeah, we got to cover between the two of us.
Some we don't know at all. Between you know it, I have no clue who that is.
Actually. You guys said a name the other day. I'm like, that's made up. Who?
It was a J. Cole.
J. Cole.
No, it's a real guy.
It's a real person.
What's his top song?
He got a bunch of them.
Does he?
No Role Models.
Yeah, No Role Models.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it slap?
It does.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No Role Models. All right, I'll
talk about Uncle Phil.
Oh, yeah?
From the Fresh Prince.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
no
well
role
aware
models.
Uncle
I'm
Phil.
here right now. No role models to think of. Yeah.
Okay.
He made it.
All right, cool. Cool. How can I say it whiter? Blues Flames pregame in an hour for Andrew Marsh and Jamie Rivers and Kerry Davis and Anthony Stalter. See you.